It's going down like this, motherfucker.
This shit is crazy. The following
Nigga get mad. Say, motherfucker, what you mean you ain't gonna let me in this funky joint? Much money I done spent in here, nigga. I knew your mama when she was horn. Hump, baby. Shit, bet I do it over time. Say that, nigga. Shit. Bet the ball. Off time. Shit, boy, I'm trying to make me some money. Boy, I'm hungry as a hog needs slop Jesus. Shit, gotta be a Jesus, cause too many black folks.
For what he has, he says that the only way that we can solve our problem is to unite together among ourselves, among our own kind, clean ourselves up, rid ourselves of the evils that we've become addicted to here in this society, and try and...
Yes, he destroy black boys. Yes, he destroy black boys. Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man. Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man.
This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying. This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying.
I just left a light in this bitch. I'm finna hit the shop in this shit.
Hey, where are the white women at?
I'm trying to told you just with her man. No, her mind is fucked. God.
Hey, where are the white women at?
I'm trying to told you just with her man. No, her mind is fucked. God damn it, shit. Her mind.
Hey, where are the white women at?
I'm trying to told you just with her man. No, her mind is fucked. God damn it, shit. Her
Well, gotta get a piece of my
Joe V. He looked down, seen his feet, the nigga went berserk, killed the monkey, threw the bat out the window, start kicking that bitch in the air.
Say anyway, but I will. The way quantum entanglement works is that you can take two particles, quantum entangle them, and then take those two particles and move them at any distance in the cosmos. And let's just say, for example, if you quantum entangle two electrons and you have them spinning in the same direction, and then you take one of those electrons and you shoot that thing out 100,000 light years from the original. If you then rotate the spin on the one electron, if you modify it so that its spin changes, the quantum entangled electron at any distance will simultaneously in no time switch its rotation also because they're quantum entangled. So these communication systems are taking advantage of this aspect of quantum mechanics that most people can't wrap their heads around, and this is what they're utilizing. It's just the new level of science that affords us the ability to communicate at any distance instantaneously.
You don't understand. It's cool enough just being cool, like I am.
Group of you together, you never can tell who's who. I've seen a lot of black guys, Nipsey, but you're overdoing it.
Plus, I'm in love with a bitch I can't stand.
I mean, TikTok. A lot of the white content creators on TikTok get all of their dances from the black content creators. I mean,
you're a philosopher? Yes. You're a philosopher? Yes. You're a philosopher? Yes. You're a philosopher? Yes. I think very deeply.
Up. Up yours, nigger.
Damn white boys out there. Most of them is psychopaths and all that. They'll kill your mama's mama and you.
Decent white folk that still don't know they're racist.
What the hell you want here, hunky?
Don't know me, want it. Mean to be rude. I don't mean to be out of line. Mean to be rude. Mean to be rude. Mean to be rude. I don't mean to be out of line.
What's all that noise? What's all that noise? What's all that noise? Oh, that's his daddy.
Your lines are still open. Oh shit, you can get it, nigga. You wanna get it?
Come with baggage, just nice, Louis Vuitton. Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, that was nice.
I like that. Bitch niggas, hoe niggas, rich niggas, broke bitch. I told niggas this was on, yeah, right. Come with baggage, just nice, Louis Vuitton. Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, that was nice.
I like that. Bitch niggas, hoe niggas, rich niggas, broke bitch. I told niggas this was on, yeah, right.
The Chinese platform, you already know. The Chinese platform, you already know they don't give a fuck about your black ass. And then
I think we OD. I think we OD.
But my word can't be my equal. I don't know what you have. That's the difference when you're my baby. Doing the style.
Used to snort cocaine, now I beam for the check, yeah. Used to snort cocaine, now I beam for the check, yeah.
Baby, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I come. I hit the loop juice. It pulls up in the deuce. Baby, I'm a hidden dead man, is what they call me when I come in. I hit the loop juice. It pulls up in the deuce. Baby, I'm a hidden dead man, is what they call me when I come in. I hit the loop juice. It pulls up in the deuce. I hit.
Like I said, you go to the history of European civilizations. 250 years is how long they last before they implode because of their greed, because of their violence, because of an inability to let others be, including themselves. If they didn't have brown and black people to hate, they would hate themselves.
Do that dance, baby, do that dance, let's work it out. Aye, nigga. Aye, nigga.
Slapping folks is satisfying. She don't like me, but I didn't know. Guess it was underlying.
Lean on, bo. Lean on. Lean on. Lean on. Lean on, bo. Lean, bo. Lean, bo. To the east, to the west, to the south, above, below, in the middle.
Greetings. This is Big Pontiac, and welcome to the Chocolate Mountain Show. I am the holder of the infinite sacred ball game that was created by the Hero Twins, and I am that one and only Galactic Daddy-O, welcoming each and every one of you to my galactic patio that reaches from Minnesota to the universe. Well, I guess that's where I come in and say, welcome to everybody. You know, gosh, I did not, yeah. Like, sorry about last night, but you know, last night end up going, my daughter performed at the U, and I end up, is this it? Nah, where is it at? Let's see. I didn't get it. I did get it. Where that shit at? Here we go. Yeah, I was up in this bitch last night, y'all. Indiana kicked their ass. Indiana kicked their motherfucking ass last night. And it was 8,000 people up in here. This is their guy. They say this guy is in the top 20. He's going to get drafted. The dude I like was this number 32. He played really good as a freshman, I remember. They whooped their ass. They beat him by 20. They went like 8 shots in a row at one period, the Gophers did, and didn't score. Now, a few weeks ago when Caitlin Clark was played in this motherfucker, it was 15,000. There's about 8,000 people in it tonight. And, I mean, the Gophers couldn't hit a basket, and they wouldn't go inside. Their best guard was hurt. You know, is one of my guys. He's from Prior Lake. Been watching him since he was in high school. But yeah, this dude right there that just dunked on him, he was the one that, you know, he ended up dominating him. And let's see. And this is like what my daughter and them did. Front of 8,000 folks. And they got to perform. I didn't get the one girl that was twirling 3 batons. I didn't, you know, kept going, trying to show it. And we had, you know, I mean, the seats were okay seats. We couldn't see the big board, but as you see, we're on the lower level. And let's see, where's more of their stuff? And just little things. But, you know, when I was in 7th grade, I don't think, I think the only thing I could compare this to is when I was in 7th grade, I was on a drill team and for junior pro, and we used to do ball tricks, spin the ball on our finger, globetrotter kind of shit. And I got to perform in front of Western Michigan University. Matter of fact, the first trophy I won was halftime of a game at Western Michigan University. So I think when I was in 5th grade, I was probably in front of 4,000 or 5,000 people. And then when we did the drill team basketball stuff, probably equal. But 5th grade was probably my first experience. But this is a good experience. And all the young ladies on this team, the oldest ones are in 10th grade. And they're some of the top baton twirlers in the country. So, you know, this was kind of what we did, you know. So I'm sorry I didn't come on. I did not get home until late. And it was just, man, I was feeling so good. And I ain't gonna lie, since I got that Neo QLED OLED, whatever the fuck LED it is, I ain't been doing shit but watching movies. I done watched Napoleon like 4 times. I'm telling you, when they're in Notre Dame and when he gets crowded, I don't get enough of that shit. And the beginning, the Private Ryan with fucking Q sound, Adamus, that shit is just crazy. Boom, 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 boom. I love that kind of shit. I love that kind of shit. So that's what I've been doing. I got to watch an Aquaman again on that TV, and I'm telling you, the movies ain't got shit on my TV. And so that's what I've been doing, and that's why I didn't come on. So let's see who's in the with the old man tonight. Chilling. What's happening, Jamar 3224? Thank you for coming, and I know you got
to have vision.
And my man from Japan, PJ Allen, what's happening? And I don't have to worry about you and yo.
My bitches.
You saying you can't control your bitch head?
Oh, L Reborn Amaroon Khan, thank you for coming. And I know you got to have
Vision.
Oh, my man from the SIP. What's happening, Lorenzo? And I know Lorenzo's
Got to have vision.
Dr. Sinister. What is happening? And I know you never. I got to worry about you and yo.
My bitches. You saying you can't control your bitch head?
Oh, man. I'm going to tell you a nice ass move. Joker got, I love his footwork. And as I said, you can only harp on these European players for so long. Eventually they part of the game. That's it. And so you have to admire what they do well. And his footwork is impeccable. I mean, he hit, what's the big skinny dude's name? He hit him a couple. Like, he missed one. The one he missed, he rolled on that dude so quick and went up. And that's the one where my man used to play with Oakland. He grabbed that shit and threw that shit up there for him. Dunked that shit on him. So that was pretty good tonight. Sometime tonight I'm gonna try to do a breakdown of Dune because I saw it. I might have to look at some highlights because I didn't take notes. I'll do a breakdown sometime tonight about that. And Russell Wilson what got it made? Gonna make what, $49 million and ain't gotta play? He's gonna make something like 40 million. They was what they fucked him out of. He won't get, what was it, 20 another. If they would have cut him, because the NFL season starts next week. That's why they cutting people. What was it? They would have had to give him 37 million plus the 40 million, 49 million. But cap space wise, they still eating all that. So they're going, I don't know, like that dude, I don't know. The general manager, that situation is so suspect. So we'll see. How can they just throw away all that money? That does not make a lot of sense. Let me show you. We just get little gifts, and I'm so thankful when the world gives me just little nice things. And I don't even know if the camera and the lights are going to do it. But I found this beautiful specimen of pink granite. It is just full of. Let me show you this layer. And again, I'm lighting. Get it right. Okay. Like, I know the lighting is kind of hard to see, but like that top piece, like this middle piece in here is just nothing but quartz. It's a big piece of quartz, and yeah, that ain't gonna help it as far as seeing it. And it's like a whole, trying to see that piece. It's one little piece that's a whole shelf of just quartz. Oh, right here. Look at that. All that shelf is right, that piece. And I was looking to see where it came because it was just like all like this, and just the sun was hitting it. And it was like obvious for me to get it, but it's like full of crystals. There's another mineral. It tells me a little because it is a little rusty. So there's a little iron, but there's another mineral in here. And I live near a gravel pit where I know there's nothing but in there. I mean, I got this big collection. And this is definitely going to go in that collection. But it's like so much quartz, milky quartz, and I don't know what this red. It is technically, this is pink granite is what it is. And so it's going to go into my giant jar, and I'll put it up where one day the light hits it, Oh, this big giant crystals. And I found another one about that big that I could probably take and nobody would care. Because it looked like it must have been in the street or something, but this motherfucker's about. I think I'm going to take that piece too. I don't think nobody would care. But I hope everybody's been, had a smooth weekend, smooth few days. We coming into another weekend. And I'm sorry, like I said, I'm sorry I didn't come in yesterday. Now, what is this? What is this? Former Dillon, South Carolina State player. Wow. Wow. Wasn't looking for this, but the creator of Dragon Ball Z passed away. Okay. I'm had to hit my son up with that. Former Dillon High School standout has passed away at 29. His sister, according to what is it? Park has been in the hospital recently battling various health issues at 29. Passing, no of him. So saddened to hear about the passing of his former Gamecock. Okay, must have didn't play in a. He graduated in 12, enrolled in 13, playing for the Gamecocks under Steve Spurrier. Okay. The tackle saw time in 44 games and started 5. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not drinking beer tonight. I'm drinking copper infused water. So please forgive me. Toast. Pop them if you got them. Definitely. I got some new bomb gummies. I forgot. It's still by Herb, but it was some different gummies, and everything is transitioning. So the gummies I like, they're stopping to make because you can have stronger Delta 8, Delta 9. What do they call it? What is it? Well, it's another name, but they're starting to switch to just pure THC. But it's what is only available in the THC is very low level. So, but that's what they're switching to. And up here, the weather was beautiful. My daughter's mother said that they were playing pickleball at the pickleball park, so they never took the stuff down. It's like I've got the heat shut off. I was gonna wear a sweater, but yeah, it's these lights and everything. It gets toasty in this motherfucker. It definitely gets toasty in this motherfucker. So, but see, it's been mild, no snow. Sunday's supposed to be 50. Look at this, 67, 66. So, hopefully I might get up and get some good morning pickleball in. I'm really rusty. So, I know it's going to take me a minute but this is spring for us. So, we had a mild ass winter, and we deserve it. So we're like this is a great winter. And again, this is not the first time that we've had winters like this. The first year of my daughter's life was exactly the same type of winter. Didn't snow. So, that's life up here. Everyone, every time you introduce me and you say my man from the SIP, I know down the west side symbol for Mississippi. I throw that, okay. That's kind of cool. Oh, Tony Bennett died. Okay. What award is coming up for them to take Tony Bennett? So Tony Bennett, if you don't know who Tony Bennett is, I don't know who this motherfucker is either. No, he's probably most famous for singing with what's that chick they say is a dude, but Lady Gaga. He made an album with her. He's about 1,000 years old. When he was famous, he wasn't famous. Think about it. I'm 60, so he was in his 30s, and he was never really. Look at this. Okay, he scored his first #1 song of his decade's career in 51 because of you. Okay, he had a #1 song in 1951. All right, he's 96 years old. That's 70 years ago. Okay, it's massive. Okay, like 50 million albums. Okay, and he won 20 Grammys. His name was something else. He was born lifelong, served Army. He was in World War II, military bands. He played his first gig, and he was discovered by Bob Hope, gave him a job, and changed his name to Tony Bennett. He released his album Because of You, and he got his first #1 hit. From there, Bennett maintained he released dozens of albums live. His signature song, I Left My Heart in San Francisco, that's probably what he's most known for, and that was, 62? Yeah, and I don't think he had another hit after that. Let's see. Had a career, blah, 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 Unplugged, giving him the bestsellers Grammy of the Year. Wow, in 1994. The Unplugged special, yeah. Did he deserve it? No. He Lady Gaga. You see how they just keep him going. He did one with Amy Winehouse. So to me, this wasn't a really famous dude, but they let him hang around and make money, and he was performing probably till they didn't say he died, did he? But when you're 96, you just die. No cause of death was given. Okay, so Tony Bennett. There we go. Tony Bennett. Also, the creators of the Backyardians passed away too. I don't watch that show, but when I did, glanced at it, and I thought about my niece and when she was a child because she looked like one of them. I said, your niece looked like one of them. That's funny. That is quite funny. That is quite funny. Your niece looked like one of them. That's kind of funny. Goddamn. BCC Scotland presenter. Okay, I think we did this. This seems old. I think I saw this Steely Dan's bassist. Yeah, I saw this. I don't think I showed this. I saw this the other day. This ain't today. Well, it says 2 minutes ago, but this is a couple days ago. This was a day or two ago. Yeah, March 2nd. Yeah. Complications of a sudden illness. Okay. So he got something happened to him. He was Steely Dan. So this guy's a year older than me. So, you know, my generation for sure. Recorded with Dizzy Becker Brothers. I sang my song the whole night long. I sang my song to you. So I might have a chance with you. Oh, y'all don't know nothing about the Becker Brothers. So I might have a chance with you. Yeah, y'all don't know nothing about that. Okay. Hold up. 100 compositions, McLaughlin, Becker, blah, blah, blah. His writing has been, okay, so Steely Dan, keyboardist. So, it's unique, little pink one. They were so cute. It's funny if you're not around children. It's like, it's so much you won't know. But if you're around children, and it's again, if you're around them, because that's what happens is you're like around them. When you're around their age, you know, you see the things that's happening to that age of children that you normally wouldn't be. So that's what's kind of interesting about it. Damn, is this? No, this is somebody else. It's interesting. Joe Budden says hip hop is headed for bad times. All the musicians are broke. Scared to drop her album, calling out streamers. Been giving hot takes. Today's musician. His claims Budden referred to the number one records into no Little Uzi Vert, which dropped in July that year and was first to be on the top. Okay, number one album, however, Long tells me that number one tells me that there's only 7. There's 7 rappers. What does it say? 7 rappers that do what? They focus on. You're truly talented to make people. Well, that's any music. Like if you listen to pop music, it's only 7, 8. They play like when you listen to pop music, it's only it's generally like you listen to pop radio, European radio, American, European, and if it ain't country, they play the same 7, 8 songs all day. I mean, literally the same 7, 8 songs. So that's everywhere. So, you know, if you want to get into, oh, is this my TV? Yes, this is, I ain't got this big one, but I got this one. Samsung QLED 4K. Yeah, this Adam is tracking sound. Oh, this motherfucker. Oh, yeah. It's worth it, y'all. It's worth getting this TV. The TV's just worth it. I kept telling my wife it's the difference. So if that interests you about Joe Budden. My cousin in Michigan, Ben Harbor, got knocked out by Grand Rapids Christian in the regionals. Semifinal regional game, they got knocked out. So it's kind of bummed. I bet he's going to end up at DePaul. His daddy went to DePaul, so I wouldn't be surprised that he went to DePaul himself. Mustafa Mohammed. Hopefully he makes all state. We'll see. And I'm pretty sure. I am pretty sure he's going to end up at DePaul. His dad played at DePaul, and I'd be really surprised if he did. And which for them, you know, Ben Harbor is, 45 minutes from Gary? 50 minutes, an hour. You're in Chicago, so it's real close. It is real close. I mean, literally 45 minutes in Gary from Benton Harbor. You are not quite on the border, but not far. So Chicago, and as I said, Gary's nowhere. Lake Michigan, they don't live far from Lake Michigan. But they had a good season. They only lost 2 or 3 games. And I thought they'd have a deeper run, but maybe they ran up against a tough team. But that's how it goes. I was trying to find, the playoffs here because I'm definitely going to the state games. I am definitely hitting the state games this year like I did last year. So that's kind of, my world. Like I said, I was gonna let's find that. And maybe this can help me break it down because I didn't write shit for it. I'll tell you my problems with it. And let's see. If I can get, let me see. I just want to get some highlights so I kind of can remember because I didn't write shit down. Okay, this is off. Good. The beginning problem with Dune is the first 2 problems. Now, the first 2 hours of the movie is really good. I mean, it's action packed. It's a lot of action. It's really good. And I wonder, I know we're past the writer strike, but like some people say when it gets into I don't know if it's by then because it's a 3-hour movie, so I don't know if it's by the third act. Again, the first 2 hours is nothing but action. The third act gets into Finn's story, and it's like you kind of you forget. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna hold some of this stuff. Let's see. Okay. And you forget, like the beginning of the story is them fighting the Baron's forces. That's it takes off from 2 where him and that guy had a fight. He takes over. Now the first problem is again, you have foreign invaders who got defeated, and that's why they're stuck on the planet because they got defeated by the Baron. And all of a sudden, he's, the Messiah. Now, you have a character that's just like Morpheus. You have a character that's basically the same thing as Morpheus. He's got a group of believers. So that's odd. So then he has to meet with the mothers, the whatever, great mother, whatever. And then his mother becomes that. So it's like 2 of the most spiritual. One is spiritual militarily. The other is spiritual. It's like, it's just too much. That's so disrespectful to any native culture that, and they tell the backstory that they had came, I think they said from another planet and brought there. And then, the spice, is the worms. The spice is the worms. But then they later show their relationship with the worms because he has to go through several initiations. And one of the initiations is riding, the worms. And it's like when it's his turn, it's the mother of worms. It's one of the biggest worms they've ever seen. So that was kind of interesting. And it shows, a lot of almost, Star Wars shit. They start attacking the big mechanical ships and shit with like Stinger missiles, and they're daring and they can fight motherfuckers. And I said the first 2 parts, the first 2 hours is really interesting. And then they get into Finn's story. And those of you that watched the first one, you remember Finn was played by Sting. And so Finn is played by now the dude who played in the Elvis, that played in the Wings of War. If you watch that on Apple Plus, the dude who played Elvis though. They put him in makeup and he plays Finn's character. And they get into Finn where, Finn, this is what's interesting. So they have a giant fight where Finn fights 3 motherfuckers. He fights 2 Atreidians. And they drug them both. They drug 2 of them. There's 3 of them and they drug 2 of them, and they led 1 to see if. But it's like, I mean, it made no sense. I guess it guaranteed his victory, but it just has a story, and he's supposed to be this great fighter. Why did they rig it? And he, he's like, man, you had tried to have me killed. So that was kind of. That's why I said that's where the story really gets. And then the Baron makes Finn, over everything, and it becomes, really predictable, He has the relationship with the young Zendaya, and I didn't realize her teeth are really fucked up. She's super skinny, don't really have an ass, but her grill is like, And my mother's like, well, her girl's always been like that. I watched her on little girl movies. I mean, far as this Disney stuff she was on, because that's, my daughter was that age where she watched her. She played the superhero girl, had the robot little sister. So my mother and a lot of people saying they didn't think she did a good job. I thought she did a good job. Some people were saying she went through the motions, but I thought she did a good job. And she was the one that never believed, she never believed. And even after he did all the miracles she didn't believe. And he betrays her in the end. And he betrays her. He says, I'm always love you. And then he asks for the hand because, he kills he kills Finn. Of course, that was predictable. He kills Finn, which was very predictable. He kills Finn, which remember when he played King John, a very similar thing where him and the knight he kills the knight. I mean, I looked this cat up. Look Willy Wonka up, and I think it's called King Henry. It's called King Henry. Look at the movie up of King Henry, and it's almost the battle scene with Finn is almost the same as when this nigga played King Henry. Except they're wearing armor and in the mud. So it's like, sloppy, lazy writing. Predictable. It was like all this you saw after the 2 hours of excitement was predictable. So let me see if I can get some highlights to shit, remember the shit. What I didn't miss. Yeah, and like here's the fight scene with Elvis Presley. Whoops. Cancel. There we go. This is the fight scene with Elvis. Him and Elvis. And I mean, this is like predictable. Him and Elvis fighting is predictable. It was very predictable. You saw it coming. And again, you have the big, I think this is, actually it's kind of the ball field shape, but the T could be interpreted as the upside down cross. But I mean, you just, like, be creative. Be creative. None of that shit was creative. Okay, and then we have, and like this scene right here, all the people love him. He's an outsider, but yet all the people love him. This outsider. Let me show you some other shit, and and this is again fucked up writing. Let me see if I can get this other scene I want to show. Okay. Now, if you read the book, how did they do it? If you read the book and you see the first movie, they kind of explain why he has to go into this. This is spice. And to keep him alive, he has a pack, almost like what is it, Mastermind? Is it like Mastermind? Is that what it's called? And so, he bathes himself in liquid spice to have immortality. And they don't really explain it. Like, I think the second one, how do they do that in the second one? In the first one? They show a way that, they kill someone and then they start injecting, like they take fluids out the person they kill and they start, running it to him. Running the fluids to him in the first one. And I read the book too, for those of you, that read the book. So this is kind of, so this motherfucker, he's grosser in the first one. He's really gross in the first one. But again, he's fully submerged in the spice to let him live, and he doesn't walk because he has to have a machine, like almost Darth Vader-ish. And again, this is very Darth Vader-ish if you think about it, It's like, again, they had a basic platform to work on, but I thought in so many ways they kind of, now the sound is very good. Okay, and I know this is not going to be very clear. Let me see if I can get it clear. Let's see if I can catch that again. Probably. Okay. And so this is the, and again, like, this is supposed to be the biggest worm that there ever was. And here's the outline. And then he's got hooks and he can ride it. Now, one thing that they show in this, and which is really unique, is how they use the worms to travel the world. The Baron's forces can't go to the south because of the storms. They don't have the technology to land anything. But these people can go there by riding the worms into the storm. The Barons people can't, their machines can't get through the storms. So the storms is a natural barrier between the Baron. But these people can ride these motherfucking, and they can move supplies and they can put shit on the back of these motherfuckers. So that was clever. I'll say that was clever to use the worms as transportation instead of, the way the Emperor's people did it is using them to kill them and for spice. Because the worms are the spice. And I mean, Zendaya did a good job. She did a good job. I thought she was into it. I thought she was courageous. She played like the Mary Magdalene. She wasn't a whore or nothing. She was kind of his thing, but I thought she looked pretty. I thought she did a good job. I wasn't disappointed in what she did. I thought she did a good job. I thought she was fierce. I think kind of but she's never a believer. She's never a believer. And so the way he does her dirty at the end, and it shows, these kind of battle scenes where they're fighting against the machines and shit. This is a giant machine and he's a hero. They can run through these machines, and it's all kind of shit like this. They're blasting the machine with bazookas and shit. Ain't no self-loading bazooka yet. Stinger missile is a self-loaded bazooka, but they don't have that. They got this shit to fuck them up. And what's interesting is the sand is like the ocean. And even this scene here, you kind of see that the sand is like the ocean. And because the sand is also spice, because of the evolution of the worms and the worms being here, there's spice all in the sand. They want the live worms, but when they take a lot of the land out to its spice, spice just blows when you're there. That's what changes your eyes, the spice. And so also what they show you, is like the worms are the fish of the sand. They still haven't been able to kill all of them. And, the big giant one, they try to attract them. They have the thumpers that they communicate with them, and not trick them. And then they show a more sophisticated way that they go and that the Barons people take the worms now, So, it was okay. It was good. I'd give it a 7. That's what I would give it. I'd give it a 7. And then like in the second act or third act, they bring in James Brolin's character. And you just don't trust him. Again, it's a foreigner. It ain't the local people. And the local people look more Arab, but it's just kind of insulting. The heroes and automatic general, because he was a pirate. He became a pirate. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a lot of the same bullshit over and over again. So, I don't know. This scene was interesting. If I can catch it. Again, we have a combination here between a ziggurat, but again, the pyramid. And again, if you look at this, it would be the step pyramid. And this is their base. I think this is the Emperor's base. Not the Baron, but the Emperor. I think this is the Emperor's plane or something like that. But you see, step pyramid, ziggurat, 2 combination. Very, again, Star Wars-ish. So, which Dune is, and it's, again, the space kind of shit. So, it's nothing new. I mean, again, let's see if I can show that. It's too far. Went back too far. I'm sorry. Okay, to play. And it was like they showed this again where their vehicles was with like, butterflies or whatever, flies, which, that's creative to see them all in formation and stuff and using them attacking. But again, we saw it in the first one. Oh, when I catch that. See if I can catch that. I can't catch it, but it shows them with the hooks that I can't catch it. Oh, so it did $81 million domestically. It did 160. This is projected to do 160. And must be the first weekend. So it did pretty good actually, first weekend. Now they're showing and this is worth seeing. He's showing some scenes from the first one and the way the first one attacked him. And the suits. So he goes back to, this is how the first one was done. And I think this is before Star Trek Voyager. And this is his father. I think this is the king here, if I remember right. So I'm trying to see if there's any other point I missed. Because you got to be reminded. And then he finds out that the Baron is, Paul finds out that the Baron is his grandfather. And I think the witch, the other witch is his it's kind of a combination of, he's giving a whole breakdown and compared it to other movies and stuff, which again, let's see if I can get that off of there. It's an Arab kind of vibe, Moorish, Arab combination vibe of the people. Again, and then, their savior is somebody from, that was people there that they were subjugated under. So we've seen that too many times. See, again, he's the Morpheus-like guy. Unless he's the guy for one that dies. I mean, they look very similar, the guy that died in one. Trying to see if any little things I missed. But that's basically it. Again, you have the believers. Oh, okay. A couple other points is, his mother gets pregnant. Now, in the other Dune I showed you, the old Dune, Dune 1, the original Dune, his sister's born. See, his mother shows that she's able to talk to her daughter. They're able to have full communications because the mother is from the witch tribe, the different tribe of great mothers. So she's able to talk. She drinks this blue shit that they get from, they have a baby, a smaller, and it's like the pure essence of it. And these women drink this shit, this blue shit. And then later Paul drinks it, but it gives them foresight. And so she's able to communicate with her baby. But in the first one, the baby's a little girl. But like she looks like she should be a baby, but she's fully talking to him in the first one. So she's not in the mother's stomach communicating with each other, asking questions already. And then he projects, and then there's going to be a 3. There's going to be a 3, and he sees her and shows you who she is in 3. He has, he has a vision when he drinks this blue shit. He has a vision with his sister, because when the mother drank this shit, the sister got it too, because the sister was in there and they didn't know. She didn't tell them because she wanted the baby to have it. But again, we have, basically more Moorish kind of look. People would say Arab, but Moors too. This is how Moors would look as well. So kind of a mixture of both, more Arab. But, the end became very predictable. I'd say 6, 7. Shot good. I would say, the final fight. Okay, and again, the final fight was too predictable. Again, King Henry again. Like the writers was like, well, he was able to make it look good in King Henry. Let's do that again. And I should look up King Henry, but look up King Henry where he played in it, where Willy Wonka played in it. And he did a good job in Willy Wonka. And I'll say, like, these two movies, I like this movie as well as I like Willy Wonka. I'll say they was both about a 7. 6.5, 7. And this is the Morpheus character, that he's the believer. But then you just wonder because, their when they were bestowed to take over the planet to harvest the harvest the spice, these people were still looked at as kind of adversaries. And so they bestowed upon them the idea of the savior and stuff. That they kind of put this in their head. And it makes you, the mother and the baby inside the mother are having a conversation. And she's like, the baby's telling the mother, go to the poor. They're it starts to seem like it's a scam of control. We need spiritual believers to give Paul more energy. So you go manipulate the poor to believe in you, and then you spread it from there. And as Paul is winning his victories in the north, because there's more people in the south that they can ally with later. But it just, it shows you that it's manipulation. And yes, he does live some of the prophecies and whatnot, but whatnot. I mean, again, it makes you see a little scam there. So, yeah, it's worth seeing. I love the color. The colors were great. I saw it again in the IMAX sound, QMAS, whatever the fuck sound. I saw all that in that. That's the only way I go to the movies. Now I got it at home. It better, like, I can't go see, like, I don't like going to see a movie and the movie ain't better than my TV. Matter of fact, we're putting our old TV in my bedroom, which really I could go without. 5 years when I had my apartment, I didn't have a TV in my bedroom. Laptops, yes, but no TV. That TV was better than, if you see it on just standard screen, that shit ain't clear. And I know a lot of you can't tell the difference, but it's different. It really is. I don't want to go see Kung Fu Panda in 3D. I don't know. Maybe if my daughter wants to go see it. I know my mother don't want to see it. She don't like corny, stupid. I don't either. And of course, the worms can be used in war as well. The worms can basically, withstand unless they're individually hunted, but together they can be quite a force. And it's like, they can't think of any other consciousness, and they don't even explain how the worm could just burrow through all that sand, and survive and mate. And they don't tell us any of that. And how, the spice, but the book a little bit, but I don't know, guys. I don't know. And this is a good shot here. I must dare say, using the worms against the people that were hunting them was that you see this in one, but they're riding them, because the only time you see them ride the worms in one is at the end when they're attacking them like this and they defeat them. They're riding the worms, and that's how they defeat the emperor's people or the baron's people. But this is a good shot, and the sound, and this is the way they're developed them. I thought this was good. So, it's, if you like this kind of thing, this is for y'all. If you don't, well, okay. And here's him riding it where you can clearly see, they can control him. Like even the Zendaya, when she leaves this motherfucker, she calls one and jumps on it. I mean, it's like they have that such relationship where they can call them and, they'll come and they can ride them. And that's a cool aspect that they didn't, put in before. That the local tribesmen, again, have with the and then again, the worm he got was the grandmother of all worms. He had to, Superman, super foreigner, super alien, he had the biggest worm, one of the biggest worms I ever saw. He had to be able to conquer. So it's again, that's corny to say that, it took somebody else from outside to be the hero. And then he becomes like the emperor at the end. But yeah, the way they used the worms was kind of cool. A cliffhanger ending. I don't know if it's a cliffhanger ending. I don't really agree with that it was a cliffhanger. So I guess let me see, any more bullshit on here I can give you guys? Ooh, I think Let's see. Like he really turns on Zendaya. Oh, okay. So this is the guy he kills in 2. At the end of 2, he has to kill him to kind of take his spot. And this is how it starts with him wrapped up. So if you don't remember, if you want to go back and look at 1, because that's what my wife did. She went and looked at 1, and then so she could kind of understand. You know. So I watched it. My mother had said she saw it too. I like the TV series. So that's my Dune thing, y'all. My kids used to watch that show. Backyardigans, yeah. Unique, huh? So, that's my breakdown of Dune, y'all. It was okay. It was okay. It took me, and it was still crowded. I'll say this. It was still crowded. It still was a very nice crowd there. No, who is this chick? What happened to her? Oh, let's get a little bit of what they say. Oh, here we go. Oh, can't get any sound from it. Oh, I'm off. The plane made emergency landing. Those 40-year-old was taken to a hospital where she died. She got on the plane fine. Returning from vacation in the Dominican Republic at the time. Traveling with friend and her boyfriend. Her friend told the outlet that Smith appeared healthy before the flight. She loves going to the gym every day while we're in the. She made it a point to get up every morning and go to the gym and run on the beach. Wow. Wow. Smith's boyfriend was sitting next to her on the plane. He said her eyes rolled back and she started convulsing. Shit. Smith's brother told news he wasn't aware of any pre-existing health issues. The chick had worked out that day.
So I got to ask you, you knew.
Wow. Oh, and they were going to North Carolina. Wow. I'm sorry to hear that, young lady. I'm kind of scared of planes too. I'm not gonna lie. It's been a long time. I'm kind of scared of them too. And I know they're safe, and that's not it, but it's just being stuck up in that motherfucker. Oh, wow. I didn't hear about this. Wow. Did you guys hear about this? Is this today? This was tonight? Bismarck Biombo collapses. Wow. We're on the road on the Portland. To no one's surprise, there no match. For the team during the second quarter of the game, suddenly fell backward and collapsed along the Thunder sideline during the start of a timeout. He fell to the ground and remained there for several minutes before being helped back to the locker room. He brought him out in a wheelchair, yet he didn't need. Okay, they brought him out and he sat down and he walked back. Okay. Wow. Once they had his chance, they determined the 30-year-old was just fine. They announced was not dealing with serious. Probably just didn't eat well. He basically fainted. I bet he didn't eat well. Okay. It's just his 5th game. He probably, his stats probably had a 10-day contract. I saw him collapse after he dapped. Oh, okay. You saw it. Okay. You saw that game. Okay. He dapped him and then so he wasn't even playing. As tall as I am, I'm afraid of heights. I didn't used to be, but I am now. I'm afraid of heights now like a motherfucker. I didn't used to be. There's a time where, it was a job where motherfucker was like, I was going to, work for the water department in a different city. And he's like, you scared to climb the water towers? I'm like, nah, not really. Not really. but I really would have been. I said this the other night. You know, I've climbed a ladder. I've climbed like the fireman's ladder, high as it can go off the truck. I've climbed that, and like the higher you go, it's it's just you and the wind, your weight, but it's not gonna fall. So that didn't scare me. That didn't climbing up the ladder. That wasn't no big deal. I knew all I had to do is climb up it and come back down. That it wouldn't fall, wouldn't break from my weight. Let's me just let go. I would be okay. That didn't scare me. But like I look over, like we have a loft and it looks over to, the entryway and that, I don't like that anymore. Like I was trying to put a crystal. I have a window over that, like the loft, the front of the house, a up high window. And I was trying to toss a crystal over there. First time it bounced away, and luckily it's so small and tight it didn't break or anything. So I was able to bounce it in there, and I'll be able to retrieve it too. So have my daughter be on the bottom, like so. Okay, well, I'm glad the brother's all right. Glad the brother is all right. Man, I want to get this in before I forget it. Yeah, I didn't hear anything about so that then them cell tower dudes get like 20,000 per time to go up there. Yeah. Oh yeah. The dude who used to get paid was the motherfuckers. One thing, like, I went to last Saturday, I went down to Iowa. When you go like down Iowa, I guess we were down 280 maybe. You go down 35W right through Iowa, 35W, and it takes you. But there's a place where there's like a windmill, like, farms or whatever the fuck you want to call it. There's a bunch of windmills. And remember, windmills was run by diesel. To make them go, they feed them with diesel. But anyway, dudes who used to do that shit, they to go up there, yeah, they used to get paid good money too. It was like 50, 60 grand just to go up there. When you had to climb, or I don't think they have elevators. I think you got to climb the motherfuckers. And like they're made out of indestructible. No, wait a minute. Is this the same guy? Is this the same guy? Oh, no, this is somebody different, guys. I didn't hear about this. Former Dallas Cowboys offensive tackle Ron Charon passed away Monday from complication from a stroke. Dang, he was only 46. Thinking about my brother. You've been doing this for a long time. We see kids, we coach, blah, blah. Past 20 years. And confirmed his pass. Dorsey attended Jacksonville, received all state honors. There was part of the Florida State Seminoles undefeated national championship team. All AC honors. The Jackson native was a 7th round pick before being picked up, then expansion Houston, and through he suffered a career-ending knee injury. He went into coaching, youth football, Dorsey played in 12 games in the NFL between Dallas and Houston during his 2 years in the league. So he doesn't get a pension, but he does get to, say that he played. So sorry to hear this, bro. That lives forever, that he did. The moments weren't enough for him, but he did live the moment. Charon. Sorry to hear about it. Charon. Oh, I got a show. What is it? Yeah, y'all. Now look at this, y'all. Okay, y'all see it? I'm sorry, I turned off of it. Look at this. Gold is up to $2,100. It's up to $2,100. We looked at it last time I was on. It was 2030. Look at this. This went up like $130. And today just plus, but I'm saying since I looked at it last, it's went up $130. So all the gold you own is worth this much more today. And so think about what you spent to get it. Because I had to get one of my rings fit. And she was like, well, how much is it worth? We have to insure it. I'm like, She's like, oh, shit, you got a good deal. I'm like, yeah, definitely did. So, you can, when was I on again? Look at this. February 28th, 54. Look at this. 95. You see that? In March, this is what, the 8th, ninth today? Right? 9th? 8th. Friday the 8th. 7 days ago. Look at that. 7 days ago. Look how much it's risen. So, Steve Lawrence died today. He was a singer and an actor. That's why I saw a picture of him. Okay. Hey, James Gant, thank you for joining. You got in here. I appreciate it.
Got to have vision.
Yeah, Steve Edie Gourmet. I saw his picture and I did not read it. It was Steve and Edie Gourmet. I did see his picture today. Steve Lawrence. He was married to Edie. Yeah, Steve Lawrence. So I did see his picture. I didn't realize they got him. Again, whoops, sorry. Again, Steve Lawrence was a winning pop starless and actor, died at 88. The charismatic Grammy and Emmy award-winning crooner delighted audience for a decade in nightclubs and on concert stages and film and television. A lot of 60s and 70s. Oh, he had Alzheimer's, so he's been dead for a while. So this is the day they was with his boyish good looks, rock and roll chose to stand with such much. I grew up in time period. Music was written by Irving Berlin and Cole Porter and Richard. These people are ready to what they're writing because it was more melodic. Smooth styling was heard on dozens. Let's see, did he have a hit? 1953 and 60. Wait. Smooth styling was first heard on solo albums starting in 63, but he didn't have a hit till 10 years later. He topped the chart with Go Away Little Girl. I think I know this. Go away, little girl, and come back. Okay, I think I know this way. I think Donny Osmond sang that song too. The single became the first in history to reach number one by two different artists after Donny Osmond recorded it in 71. Okay, because Stand By Me, I think. Benny King did it number one in like a bunch of different periods. He also made the top 10 with Party Doll, maybe heard it. Pretty Blue Eyes, I don't know if I've heard it. Footsteppers. Portrait of My Love, never heard of it. Broadway starred in What Makes Sammy Run. Okay, that's some bullshit. Many remember Lawrence portrayal of a manager in the Blues Brothers. So he played in the Blues Brothers. Okay, I guess. Needed to quickly raise money to save their childhood. They turned to married. He'd look for a gig. Okay. And he was at that twice. He played on Steve Martin's greeting card with The Lonely Girl, father of Fran Drescher's character, The Nanny. He guest starred in other series. Hyder, popular in 60s, and Lawrence and Gourmet. So where did they mention that he married her? What year did he marry her? See, it doesn't even mention her. Yeah, see, they just throw his wife in there. Okay, they didn't even mention her, and then down here is like, the height of popularity, Lawrence and his wife on the show. I think her name was Edie Gourmet. Hottest couples, a variety show, matter of time before Steve and Edie would be booked for it. They won an Emmy in 79 for their special Steve and Emmy, celebrating Irving Berlin and fun game shows, appearing in What's My Line, Got a Secret, Password, just to name a few. In 81, they realized a lifelong dream and performed solo concert at Carnegie Hall. Sold out concert. They're both confident, full-throat singers who show kind of assured presence that comes from years of playing in Vegas. So they also played in Vegas, they tell you. Where I first heard him, Lawrence around Sinatra, Rat Pack, Stephen E. opened for Old Blue Eyes for Diamond Jubilee World Tour. So they opened for Sinatra. Wow. 13 countries. Wow. Lawrence attended what looks where he would skip classes to spend his day in Manor Hall, hustling to make connections and pick up some cash singing demos. It was at the songwriting Mecca. He met Gourmet as entering the building. And Bob and I want to meet Edie, Lawrence recalled. 53, they met again. They booked each other. They were singing on Steve Allen, forerunner of the Tonight Show. They started doing duets. 2 years later, collaborated on their first song together. Lawrence and Gourmet were wed in 57. Wow. I wonder when she died, because They enjoyed each other's solo act and preferred together, and they did so until she died in 2013. Didn't tell how she died. Okay, after his death, released the solo album, so he didn't quit. So he didn't quit. Guy from the BBC. Yeah, I kind of talked about that. Deborah Bird from the BBC. Yeah, I think I looked at him earlier too. Thank you, James. Alchemist. That's an Alchemist and book. Thank you for joining. I don't know.
Got to have vision.
Died at 02. Okay. Okay. So yeah, this was a cat, if you grew up in the 70s, 60s, and 70s, you would see them on talk shows and shit, him and his wife, almost always together. And she was a cute lady. Let's see if they show his wife. See if they show how she looked. Yeah, I mean, here's a picture of her old. Well, she was still fairly cute. They were a good couple. They both were power singers. I mean, think about it. How much bread they amassed opening, in Vegas. They had probably a residency in Vegas for a while, and then opening for Sinatra around the country. They were probably multimillionaires. Easy. And it's funny. Like, people don't understand that you just, some people think that you just got to have popular and have hits all the time. It's working. It's working. I tell the story of one of my friends. That she does cabaret in Chicago and been doing it for years. And so it's a lot of opportunities out there for whatever you like doing, like dancing. I know it's entertaining, but also this if you have a talent in this, and it's like, I think eventually it's gonna how do I probably just do that. It's going to go away from the mindless dancing, copying other people's interpretation of movement. I am a great believer in dance, because you can. What is this? You can move a lot of energies. You can definitely move a lot of energies with dancing. I recommend dancing every day. Because it really is a really good way to build energy. I mean, it really is positive energy for yourself. So I want to show this picture. I've kind of, been engineering how I want to, attack pickleball. I'm getting my inserts made. And I came across these, and I'm really, really thinking these probably will be a great pickleball shoe. What's interesting is I wish I'd saw this a couple of days ago. And where I'm going to start off with tonight is because I said I was going to take back them Aura Maxes, and I ended up getting this version. And this version is more mesh. So I think I'm very impressed with this shoe. I went walking in it today. It's lighter. Now, this other shoe has eyelets here. You see the checks are a little different. They're more, this one's behind the other one. But as a shoe, and I'm definitely going to get my insert put in this. This is, and I pay $120. I'm looking at these brand new ones because I think this is the first generation of XXTs, LeBrons. It's not as bulky as the other LeBrons, which I kind of like. But like the other patent leather one that runs small, this runs true to fit. Really impressed. Took those other ones back, and so definitely gonna be a big pickleball. I mean, this reinforced here, it really snugs my foot. Now this version I saw in the store, and I think this version will probably be another good fit to play pickleball in. So that's why I kind of wanted to show this. So I think it's really going to be another good fit of to play pickleball in. And I was just told today, they called me that they are playing pickleball. So I wanted to show this. And I'm not gonna lie, I got myself. It's the cut box, but the shoes are worth it. No paper. They didn't give me any paper. They cut the top off, but they gave me this. Well, they tore it in two, because where's the other one? I was looking. Oh, because the LeBrons give you this shit. So I think this comes. I think it was another part, but they gave me that, so that's cool. But yeah. And I waited for an unboxing. Gonna have an unboxing. This is from Nike. So yeah, it's a fucked up box. Look at this shit. Like it's been triple boxed, so I hope this shit is in here. We'll see. Now still got this big hatchet and shit, cutting boxes open. Y'all see me stab the shit out of myself. Be like, ah. Oh, this box has got its ass beat. Ah. Okay. And these are I forgot what they're called. But they got the tapered leg. I think these are Nike. Oh no, these are Jordan. Jordan. Tapered leg. Well, I can use these bags. Put my hats in these bags. No, I guess this bag ain't open. And this is called, man, this shit's got names. Oh, here we go. And this is Tech Imagined. Loose fit, straight leg. And it's got the seam in it. So this is some of that tech shit. I know I talk stuff about tech stuff. But this is more of a pant tech. And this is the Tech Reimagined. And the other thing. So quality is great. Yeah, I can use this plastic to cover my hats. And I must say, I will always correct myself. As I go through quality of stuff, these Nike sweats fit better than the Polo. I must admit, they fit better. They fit better. Huh, is this? I don't think we did this one. Damn. This is the Morbid channel. This is the Morbid channel, y'all. I don't think we saw her, though. A vocalist coach known for American Idol and Canadian Idol, The Voice, she has passed at 72. According to Deadline, she passed today, March 5th. She passed Tuesday. No cause of death or location was given, so we don't know where she died or how. We just know that she died. Was one of the singers, voice coach during her 10 seasons with American Idol. Paid tribute on social media. Heartbroken of the passing over. She will be dearly missed. Okay. 51 in Ohio, attended Kent State, studied theater. She performed with Barry Manilow, touring the world as part of Manilow's backup group, Lady Flash. Who would have known? Saddest days of my life. Felt that Deborah was no longer with me, Manilow wrote on Instagram. She was one of the most wonderful friends I've ever had. I will miss you. She probably made big bread doing this. Wow. Listen to his shit though. Oh golly, I mean that think about his kind of music. What kind of I like the long this liquid man. Oh man, that shit would drive me crazy. To be into his kind of music. Can y'all imagine that shit? That Barry Manilow shit? Oh my goodness. I couldn't imagine night after night hearing that shit. I'd want to pull my teeth out. So yeah. But as I always say, when you take a drink out of beast's glass, it ain't up to you when it's time. They tell you when it's time. Say it's time. Let's pull the plug on him. He's got Alzheimer's. Keep him in there. Damn. Oh, this is just. Did I do this? I guess I did it. The Amish are in the news again, y'all. Identical twins accused of swapping places after one is accused of killing two Amish children in crash. Identical twins from Minnesota. So I didn't hear this here. Who was allegedly driving while high, crashed into a Amish horse and carriage and killed two children. Prosecutors alleged that Samantha was behind the wheel and 23 when Wilmer Miller and Ira Miller were killed, while two single aged 9 were rushed to the hospital with injuries. Accused switching places. Wow. And was behind the wheel when her car slammed into the carriage. Damn, that's a crappy damn. And the deaths of oh, that is so sad. I didn't know you needed car seats to be in buggies. No insurance. Wow. Wow, that is just so bogus. So bogus, y'all. So sad to hear. But that's just, the world that we face. It's a lot of stuff and can't be surprised what it gets. So Russell Wilson is reportedly receiving absolutely no interest on the NFL teams. That's all right. He got enough bread. Let me see his tell all this bread he getting. Wilson willing to make he could make. Okay, so right here it says after all he is making, so he would get the NFL minimum. So there's no trade market for ahead of his release. It's made giving playing on their 5-year, $240 million contract. Wilson's going to make $30 million if he plays or not. So whatever he would make on top of this. So this is right here. You ain't gonna believe my words. Right here. After all, he is already set to be paid $30 million by the Broncos. Not even playing. He was gonna get if he would have made it to next week, they would have had to pay him more. So nobody wants him, but I don't care. Yeah, I'm gonna get $30 million just to be my man, be my own self. $30 million, don't even gotta play. Right the fuck on. Oh, let me break this down. Let me break this down before I forget. And this is just a quick little breakdown of how things work and operate. Like I know some people can't understand quantum. It's hard for them to kind of understand quantum. But one thing to understand is if you can understand microbes, what's under microscopes. It's kind of the start of trying to understand quantum, because it's something very small around you, but yet we have the technology to see this. It's something you and I can all actually physically see. Microbes, right? Bacteria, and shit you can see under a microscope. So when you take any crystal and you take the crystal into the microscope, what you see is each crystal grows a specific way. So you have a slice of crystal and you put it under there, and it's going, it has a from the microscope, the microbe level, you get to see it. And you see a lot of the same pattern over and over again. Unless, you're looking at kyanite. And what you're going to see is you're going to see that this pattern doesn't really, it repeats, but it repeats going away from itself. And that's the same way it grows. But you're going to see the basic pattern from the microbe level. Now, so to stay on that point, if you understand like sigil work, and sigil can pretty much be anything. So, just some basic. So, sigils is pretty basic. I mean, this is just, however you want to, what a sigil is. You understand what I'm saying? It's a basic way to start a spell or to have a seal to try to push your idea that's going ahead. If that makes sense. Got a big book back there. Again, sigils can be used daily. Actually, like like every day. Also, the way the geomancy and the geometry, the way they play a part in it too, is still sigils in a way. And I bring this up because if you try to understand how microbes, and then if you even go deeper and you say, well, what is the quantum? And I really didn't want to bring the quantum to kind of confuse too much. I kind of want to stay on one level so it's easier to understand. So the microbe level. So when you like make a crystal grid or even wear crystals, understand like even the way you would take apart a sigil. If a sigil was some energy related, directed at you. One thing that you'd have to consider that the crystal can do for you is the crystal can attack that sigil from a microbe level. And the sigil is the way it's crafted. I mean, the way it's crafted, and who's crafted by too, but the way it's crafted, the essence of the crystal could be, and normally would be, effective enough to protect you or even kind of keep that away from you. Like even a barrier because of the microbe part of the crystal. So you can set up the grid, which is the physical part, but also you figure, and this is pushing out energy. When you push out energy, the microbes are being pushed as well. And so it's tearing at that sigil, or it's tearing at whatever could be attacking you. Like even the other, to understand like what was silver is so important. And, I recommend that everyone have a relationship with silver and copper, definitely. I haven't been fucking with my copper cup in a while, but I looked at it, it's like, yeah, it looks good enough to drink in. I clean it as much as I can. And, but like, I have silver back there. If you don't wear it, it tarnishes. And don't wash off the tarnish. Keep it on there because you're actually removing silver. But anyway, but if you wear silver, the way it works with your body chemistry, and silver and copper both will go and work within. And again, there's only, out of this 24-inch chain, there's only roughly 14, 16 inches that touch my skin. Again, when I lay down and sleep, it's moving. But just the reaction of my skin to the silver will, for the most part, keep the silver shiny. Now, you can see where the motivite, the top part doesn't really hardly ever touch my skin. But if you turn it around, it is a lot, it's shinier because it interacts with my skin. And so again, when you lack what silver does, when you break silver down, silver starts making other structures do what they're supposed to do for you. I mean, it really will talk to the meridians. And I mentioned many times before, it is one of the things that you can physically have on you, and it actually goes quantum into your body and then interacts with things like these. And so, that's why it's interesting when you see, things like this and stuff and all the turquoise. That is why. Silver is going to make it do. It's a physically healing, and it's going to physically make the crystal react in the way it's supposed to react for you. And that's why going back to, the way you attack a sigil, and I'm gonna say this, sticking on the spiritual note, like even family curses. One thing that is really important is putting the skull library in your repertoire or in your bag. Because some of these curses are in stone, and if you are not able to remove those curses out of the stone, I can't tell you any other way how to remove some curses. Because some curses you're shown that they're in stone. That's how embedded it can be. And you have to be able to take it out of stone. And the only ones I know can help with that is the skull library. And so that's why it's always good also to have the skull in your bag. Hey, Don Juan. Hey, Don Juan, thank you for coming. And great question, because you must have.
Got to have vision.
Well, like we are on something that's alive, but we're on top. Like we are on something alive, but what we are not as deeply. How do I want to say this? So the way it really works is, as I've said before, if you look at the original Earth and the original planet, the planet was all oil. It was just like can't even say it's a ball. But as it evolved, these beings evolved. Now, these first beings that we're able to build over, and I guess that's what I don't emphasize enough. The first beings before the trees were able to, the first beings that evolved out of whatever this black gook shit was. Um, um, they were able to build the first reality off of what is the central thing. Now, even when the trees came, it came much later, but again, where they were when they, where they evolved, they were closer to what this really was than what we are if I'm not getting too advanced. And so as each one had their turn, it was it's almost like a layer of an onion in some ways. Each layer. And so we are on something that whatever controls it can generate some of the power of what we are centrally on. Like, what was it? A Lavarian land, a city of 1,000 planets or some shit like that. I mean, that's kind of telling you, what was it called? A city of 1,000 planets or something like that. So yes, I think like consciousness and nature kind of seem to be able to pass through. It's like those are some natural energies that we seem to be able to connect to. But I mean, like another, like even with the crystals and everything, you can say, well, the same being generated it all. But it does seem like there's some gifts from nature. Again, that seems to be like consciousness and nature. And it seems to be that each variation that's on top of this, that has to be a requisite for the life to make it some kind of way work. And so it seems like it has to have those. And that's seems to be what we can tap into, to get away with fear. Don't be so fear generated, and understand that everything that we're doing is just a natural process. Like all of it is just natural. So it's there's nothing really to be afraid of, and it's I mean, it becomes a point where you understand this and you say, okay, like the problem with totally saying it's simulated again is it's not that that's untrue, but it's like true and untrue at the same time, because it's simulated, yes, but it's also moving at the same time and thinking. So there's an organic aspects that reacts. And it's definitely, there's definitely a reality generator thing that they can focus. That technology has seemed to have been around for a long time. Where they can just like give you the wolf man chasing you, give you aliens probing you. It's real to you, but if I was watching you, I wouldn't see that. Now, there's other dimensional things that could happen like that too, but uh um but that does seem like it can be that too. And just as as the Gipper always says, change also could be, change can you look at change as the enemy, but also I think change is also can be the motivator. Because if you can't, you can't generate some kind of change in your life for positive, because change ain't always got to be negative. So it can't always be the enemy, because change can also be for, positive and motivation. And so it's still important to be grounded as you can, because the dirt is real. And there are gifts that seem to be given to us that help us get the spirit of whatever we're on top of. And a lot of it is looked at, the first thought as being mu, as feminine. And so it seems to be that we can sit with that first thought. That does seem to be the highest state, is to sit with a female. And there's, I've heard people say the Godheads, okay, but it's female Godheads too. And those are all bonuses if you can get to that. But it's, over and over again. Again, when you read Be There Now, that's what he talks about. When they take an acid every day for 30 days, they get to go sit with her. And the fucked up thing when the acid wears off is that we got to leave her. Now, I know, when they talk about reaching the consciousness of the yogi and all that, it's a little different. But if you listen to what he says, when he gets high and they reach their highest state, they sitting with something that is feminine, and then they hate to leave it. And so this, existed before Europeans came, where people were able to reach this status and connect with this, you know. And that's why, I'm fascinated by, by the omen and the omic, and getting into, my man back there. And I forget to to point out the world tree, and please forgive me, I do forget things. some things are, I kind of take them for granted. And I want people to look at them, but it's like um, there can be a lot more than what we're looking at. Oh my goodness, it's okay. I'm impatient. Where'd my pen go? And I pick it back up. I want to use the pen as my pointer. And I don't see it. Well, maybe I'll use this tobacco. Okay. All right. The part that I'm sorry that I don't mention is, and this can be considered that, is this is also the world tree. And I've showed pictures before of the omen carrying the world tree. And again, you see the great Bacall or starface. You see him. And I always emphasize the jaguar's teeth, along with the Quasiquoto, along with the world tree, which has all the directions and circled by the night gods. So I didn't want to get that in there. And again, when you look at again, going with magic and what's natural for the people that live here and your families, been here. My family's been here since at least the 1500s. We can verify, and that's a person that was born here. That didn't come from England. That was actually, born in what would be considered Boston area in the 1590s or less. I mean, he died in 1619. And I only say that is because there are certain things that we looked at as sacred to us. Like when I talk about sports and sports being fixed, I can go into the Bordes Codex, and I can break down to you how when they look at creation, the ball game is part of the creation. And I've said many times, it's also for grieving. Children pass. The ball field is that because children get so much joy for the ball field. So it's also a way to aim energy. It's something that's swirling because, you're getting some creation energy, those kind, where the ball game is never really played on it. So it has a little more of that creation ball game energy. And so, I look at it a little different. It means a lot more to me than it means to most. Because sports is just as much as a religion or again, part of the creation as all. And talking about the hero twins, which you still try to see, Cain and Abel was a direct copy of the hero twins. But they wanted to teach the story of you work apart, you're jealous of your brother. Not the oldest story in America where you fight with your brother. You fight the gods against your brother. With your brother, excuse me. And when his father fought the gods, and it wasn't necessarily about, being a war. No bomber pointed at, no, it was always people on top and the people in the inner world. The Popeye talk about, the oceans and stuff and mountains in the inner world. And both of them practicing the sacred ball game. It's just his father and his uncle wasn't as good. But then they show the emergence of Avs above and below, You have one of the princesses that's from the under. You have the just defeated head of the hero twin's father grows into a cornstalk. Again, they're saying that things can grow inside the earth. And the princess sees this human head coming out of this beautiful maze, and she gets close to it, and he skates on her. Kind of rude, wouldn't you think? Oh, what just happened? I got close to that flower, and it just shot some shit on me, and now I think I've got 2 babies in me. And so And so all of you listening, I'm pretty sure, you know the reward of just dribbling a basketball and putting it in a hoop. The oldest game played in America. I really think it's probably dodgeball, but that's what the visions show is that they just started throwing this shit at each other. Like they would make silicone, and they had just left over. And at first they would just throw this shit at each other, and they was like they created the balls. But at first it was just leftover silicone they would just throw at each other. And then that evolved. I mean, they would catch baskets with the ball. I mean, it's nothing new. But the longest withstanding one that you and I deal with is putting it through the basket and bouncing it. First time a European, which was, Columbus in Haiti, when the children had one. So you know how far Haiti is from Belize, or, La Venta, how far it is from the mainland, but yet they had rubber. So you see, it was total communications. But that's how ingrained just bouncing the ball is with us, catching the ball, running around with the ball. And, you saw those football players that, he'd fumble, they'd make him carry the ball for the whole year, and they'd take a picture with the ball. A lot of us would do that naturally, dribble a ball, I would throw myself passes, run down the street, throw the pass and catch it, throw it, catch it, run the whole way. I mean, we used to run, working out my senior year in high school, we would run up to the college to go work out. Run up there and then lift, run on the field, catch, throw, then run back home. As I've said before, where I lived on a square mile, and just a square mile, 4 miles. People would see me every day, wave to me, because one of them is like where everybody would drive by on the way to the mall. And it'd be like, people would, by that point in my life, a lot of people knew me, especially lived on that side of town or going out to the mall. And I'm just getting crazy people beeping at me, seeing me running. And so this is just ingrained in me in such a spiritual way. It has definitely helped me live, as much injuries and stuff as I've had. Still, it's given me so much more. As I've repeated many nights, the worst my life could be going, I could still play ball. No matter what else was going on in my life, I could go play ball somewhere. Nothing took that away from me other than age and injury. That's pretty much what took that away from me, but nothing else. And, you get a certain point where, it's time to find some other way. But yet I'm, still connected to it. Like my daughter, I look at my daughter and I'll tell you, like my daughter is with a group of girls that are all fairly not much older than her. And they're going to do this on a national level. And this is almost their 3rd or 4th year together. It's my daughter's first year on the national team, but a couple of them been on the national team 3 or 4 years. And the way they performed the other night, I mean, these girls are going to be something when they get seniors. The leaders are only sophomores. So in 2 more years, these girls are going to be so bad. I saw a young lady, and like when I break down baton, and my daughter is born for it. So I said catching a football and catching a baton is very similar. Now I know a lot of you don't remember, but batons was sold at the dollar stores for $0.25. And we all kept them just because we fuck with them, twirling them and shit, popping each other, throwing them at each other. But they were so cheap and they were made well. They were sturdy. I mean, you whack somebody. I mean, you really had to bust it to break them. And so we always had a batons, And look up Calvin Murphy. He's a mug. But I looked at another young lady that I couldn't tell. It's so hard from boys and girls. It's hard from 12 to 17. It's hard to tell who's what age. But it was one young lady. She was about 6'1". She was thicker. She wasn't skinny at all. She wasn't overweight either. She was just taller, healthy, but thicker. And she didn't do any team. She was just straight up individual. and the power of her spins and the power of her tosses. I mean, by the time my daughter's a little older, I'm going to have the film on how to do this broke down for her, because it's ways like my daughter did almost what's called a triple. But what happened is she located the baton when she came out of her third spin. She located it, but when she located, she could only catch the top of it. She caught it, but I think at the same time it hit. So I think what she did is she caught it, but it hit. So I think she kind of relaxed because she thought she caught it. And when she pulled out of, when she went to raise it up, she had dropped it because I think it hit and it threw it off a little bit. But the power that she put in her spins and looking at this other young lady, yeah, it's she's born for it. So practice and and I'll say, well, I learned when she first got in it, I say, well, why is it like a receiver catching? Now, part of, like, if you think of a deep ball, a deep high ball, and I mean, on a guy can really throw. And I mean, like I was able to throw a ball high and then the ball would dive. And guys that can do that. When you run, you can't just run fast. Like when you're a little boy, yeah, you can run the whole time looking back. But when you start getting against people that are more skilled and stuff and different levels, you can't just look the whole time. It slows you down for one. So you learn to look, you like, okay, you break. And then once you really break and you see you got a separation or just see, you glance. You glance and then you know if you gotta, put your burners on a little more, and then you look the second or even the third time. Because sometimes you like, and then you look and like, damn, let me put on a little more and then look again. And it's the same kind of thing where you're moving and you've got to catch something that's moving through space time. And you've got to catch it with your hands. And then and it's very much, seeing what you catch too. Seeing what you catch, look it in, seeing, catching it with your eyes. And so it's very much the same. So, it's her journey and however she wants to enjoy it. What the fuck does this mean? Oh, how does these, yeah, I'm not making sense of that. I tell you, I had some good, what was it? I had some really good, Vietnamese food. The place is called Cameron Bay. They have some noodles and shrimp. They had this, they called it, they had shrimp. What was it? What was, shrimp, sesame shrimp. And it was all coated. And they gave me this sauce. That shit, they said it was hot. It wasn't hot. That shit was good as hell, though. Good as hell. uh, Damn. I don't want to read about that. That shit is too bogus. And I'm gonna wait to see Bob Marley whenever it comes on TV. I ain't trying to see that. I wasn't really interested. I've said before, I really didn't know who Bob Marley was until he died. I saw his funeral. They was talking about, how his locks. They had to give him a wig because he had lost his hair. And so, that's my So, I've never been really, I've said before, I've been into a few of his songs. But him overall, yeah, I'm not really into. Yeah, it's that. I can't say I'm really into. Okay, I think I want to build this. I'm fucking around, you know me. I am always fucking around. So But anybody have any plans this weekend? I think Golden State. Where's the game at tomorrow? That's what the fuck we can do. Where's my phone? We can go to the game. Where did I put it? Ah, here it is. Timberwolves. Do Timberwolves play at home tomorrow? Let's see. I'll look up here too. Just put this down. I can come back to it. Timberwolves. Next home game. I think they played Golden State here. Here we go. Let's see. Who do they play tomorrow night? Oh, they play Cleveland. They play away. Shit, these niggas got a bunch of away games. They don't play home again until the 19th. They play at Cleveland, at the Lakers, at the Clippers. I thought they played Golden State tomorrow. That's what the guy said on TV. He capping. So they play the Clippers. Here, I can share my screen. I'm sorry. So Clippers, Jazz. Damn, they play the Jazz back-to-back there. That's odd. They play the Nuggets. Deals available, I bet. Oh, okay. They don't play Golden State till here. Shit, I'd rather see the Nuggets. What they hitting for? Upper level. Look at this shit. Look at this. What's this hitting for? What's this? What's it saying? That's not bad. This is not bad. I like sitting like right in here. 129. That is not bad. But shit, I'm seeing Ryan Davis too. 184. What's it hitting here? What's here? 119 ain't bad. It's under the basket. That ain't bad. This really is not bad either. Let me see, because they come in. Timberwolves come in here. So, yeah, I knew these would be more expensive. The Timberwolves come in here. This really ain't bad. Like, if you sit up here, look at this. If you can get one, like, right, like this section right here. Okay, that's close. But if this section, there's a seat, like, right. You can get these angle seats up here. Some of these angle lower seats that aren't bad seats, even though you're sitting up top, but it's not bad. Like, you can get these angle seats on top. They're not really bad. But this ain't bad. Shit, 104? This ain't bad at all. So, might go. We'll see. That's why, it's always something to do in this motherfucker. Anybody say it ain't? Shh. I don't know what the hell you talking about. It's always something to do. This is what I was looking at. Compatible. Not seeing what I was looking for. That's a bummer. That is a bummer. Q sound. Yeah, Q sound sounds good. And this shit don't bother my neighbors. It's. I have to really drop. Like, I drop my mic stand. They might could hear if I drop my mic stand because it's pretty solid. But other than that, I never hear my neighbors. Where is the other thing? I can't find it. But yeah, this is it. But there's another part to it. I'll find it later. I'm just tripping. Where was I? In the life and times of an old timer. I must be old timer because they told me I was old. You're as old as you feel. It is so different every way as you age. It was funny. A guy told a joke, and you can take this as what you want. He said, and I've told this joke before, but he said that when he reached 50, he would think he would be done pissing, and then he'd put his pants back on, put his shit back in, and the shit would drip in his pants and he'd have to take another shower. Now, I don't know if any of you experienced that, but that is something that happens to older people. And you don't know why. It'd be like, you think you're done pissing and some reason you like, so I've learned you got to stand there for a minute. So that's one thing. I mean, you smell worse as you get older. And if you don't do something about it, like if you're young and you stink, you're really going to stink when you get older. You're really going to have a foul smell. And people get sick after, but I mean, you do. You really have to work on the way you smell as you get older because that's something that can get real foul. So that's a little advice. And it's like, no matter what you do, like you got to move all the time. I have a little thing, like even when, like my cat will come and sit on me and I'm getting up every 15, 20 minutes. And I know, like, probably now I need to stand up. I'm sure I've been sitting for 2 hours, so I'm way need to stand up. Oh, there's my pencil. Oh, yeah, I needed that. And I know you're like, motherfucker, you've been sitting for the last 2 hours. You don't, yeah, because this is working for me. Oh yeah. I'm telling you, I've been around these motherfuckers, those motherfuckers, and you don't take care. It creep. That's I tell you, I saw the oddest couple. I guess these people technically aren't related to my daughter, but there's my daughter's first cousin's grandparents, and it was like. I've told this story, but I wish I could, like, if I had some animation to show you this shit, or even real people, if I could recreate this with even real people to show you the difference in the wife and the husband. Now, I meet these people. There's a RV parked in the front yard, and there's a house. So I meet these people. This is my girl's brother's father-in-law. And he looked like a little elf, but he was about 5'8", skinny, very dirty bibs. The house was, he lived there by himself. I mean, this is like there used to be a commercial. They used to call my brother, I'm dirt. Like a 49er, like with the 49er wear the beard and the little dirty hat. He looked like that, the 49er dude with a dirty beard and bushy brown hair, probably died. With dirty clothes on. And what the dude did is he was a cattle farmer. He was a cattle guy. He had beef cattle, not milk, just beef cattle. He had barns all around. Then we're in there, in walks this lady. Now the lady had just had cancer. But her hair had grown back quite a bit, so you really hardly would notice. But this lady was like, I'm looking at the dude, I'm looking at her, and I'm thinking, like, how did she ever let him smash? And the more I got to know them, again, she lived in the RV. He lived in the house. And it was like reversed of how my grandmother lived. I told the story. My grandfather hit for 16,000 2 weeks in a row. In 3-digit. And he bought what they call a fifth wheel and lived in the back of the house he built, where he moved out, but he moved out to the fifth wheeler. And my grandmother lived into the house until she bought a house for my aunt. So it was the reverse of that. And as I got to know these people and see it, but it, like the lady looked, healthy and healthier, I still did not get it. And I mean, the funniest, I had fun with the dude because they gave the brother-in-law, they gave him a house on the property where around the cows. So I get out, the car, and I'm hearing pink, pink, pink. And I'm hearing I hear somebody laugh. So I'm like, I'm hearing shots. My children, my girl, ain't none of them hearing that shit. I'm hearing shots. And so I'm like, where the fuck is these shots coming from? Because I'm hearing the shit. I mean, this pink shots is like, they ain't coming at me, but I'm hearing shots. And I'm hearing it hit shit. So I'm like, what the fuck is this? So I'm looking and I'm trying to track what is hitting. And I'm hearing this goofy dude laughing. Then finally, I like traced where it was coming from. I saw where it was hitting and I traced. I'm like, man, you up here? And he came out laughing. He's like, man, you want to shoot some birds? And I was pretty buzzed, and I'm like, fuck yeah. So he had another 22, and what happens is the birds would come in there and try to eat the cows' feed. And so he was just picking them off and shit. And that shit was kind of fun, sitting in the barn, little weird little dude, like just weird. He'd shoot him and laugh and shit. But that was kind of cool. So, in the same time where a dude put a frozen turkey, and you guys try this and see what happens. See if you put a frozen turkey into a hot pan of grease, what will happen? So you can believe my story or not, but try it and see what happens. So life, it's can be funny, it's funny, you'll see things and don't even understand. I often wonder because when I see like my ex-wife like once a month, I help her with something, and she, I wonder if her man looks at me and wonders how we was ever together. Again, we've known each other 30 some years, and she's about to be 50 in a few weeks. It's funny, my daughter's mother's about to be 45. Their birthdays are one day apart. One's about to be 50, and one's about to be 45. And I think my other and my first wife, she must be 62. Yeah, she's 62 because I'll be 63. Or maybe she'll be 62 in November. Yeah, she won't be 62. She's 61. I don't think she'll be 62. So, and I've known her since I was 20. And I've been here I've been here 18 years, so I don't know her. But, associated with her, I guess you could say. And it's funny seeing the physical condition of each of them, how they've aged. And you look at me. And how I've aged and how I'm still glamorous. I don't know if glamorous is the right word, but how I'm still vibrant, I think. I think I'm still fairly vibrant. And I look older. I mean, I look at videos when this channel started in 20. I look at videos, of myself 4 years ago, and I've lost weight, for no doubt, and not a lot, but I used to be 250, 260 sometimes, really before the pickleball thing came. I really had to, be more active, and I found ways to be more active. First, even before the pickleball was just shooting baskets and walking, just to do something. Then the pickleball thing came in, and now, the people have played pickleball all year round. So I know people are going to really be good because they've been playing all year round outside. So I'm going to get the opportunity, and I think I'm going to get up early next week and go play with the people that don't play that great yet and just work out a little bit. So, and my goal is I'm going to play 3 times a day because they play inside early too. And then I can still go outside where it's early over there too. And then there's another place I'm going to end up on today. So, really, really, and, it all starts now. Like I've getting the physical therapy all done, and I've taken time off to really heal, stretch. It's about to, wherever we end up with this thing, it's still going down. I'm going to start using it running, so. And I watch what I eat. Like this is what's amazing. This is what really is amazing. Like I didn't even see last time I went to the college stadium because I was like, I didn't see any beer. Last time we went, I didn't see anywhere. I guess I just didn't notice. Right after I got married, early November before Christmas, when I went to the college game, I didn't, I wasn't going to drink anyway. I was driving, so I wasn't going to drink. But tonight, the other night, I didn't drive. And I was like, damn, they got beer. So my daughter's mother bought me a beer while I was up in there. I was like, okay, you can get nice up in this place. So, but as I'm always going out, we're seeing movies, just doing different stimulating things. And so I hope you all, I know PJ does, he travels a lot, and him and his beautiful wife do things together, and that's a beautiful thing to see. This is what more people need to see, that brothers and sisters can be together and be married and do things and have positive experiences. you know. And there's several of us YouTubers that are married. And I think for the most part, they have pretty positive experiences that they give on their situation. And so I can't speak for all of America. I've been married 4 times. I did marry one woman twice, though. So 3 times, really. So I've always believed in it. I mean, but I didn't get married. Well, I got married at 24, first time. And the women I was with, I was engaged to them all. And I told them all that this was my aim with each one of them. So I don't think anybody was surprised that in the situation I'm in now. And whatever, situation you're in, what works for you, okay, well, make it work for you. And to sit here, you like think about this, and this is a fact. The most educated people in America is sisters, by far. Let me say that again. The most educated people in America are sisters. So, it's good that people aren't dummies. And there's all kind of, like being with someone famous, sometimes, no, let me take that back. I don't mean famous. But being with someone that's successful, sometimes it could not work. Craig Fax tells a beautiful story about he was like with a girl in pre-med school. She switched over to residency. And, her schedule was pretty tight. And they had been sharing a place together. And she was like, he's a comedian and a musician at the same time. And he's like, she tells him that he got to be in the crib to live with her. He's got to be in the crib every day at 9, 10 o'clock. This is a comedian. And so sometime, like David Ruffin says, you got to walk away from love. And I'm not saying that to down her or down him, because they're both right. Because when rest is prominent and routine and focus, you need everything around you to have that same routine and focus for your success. Right? So, I mean, yes, that can happen. But also, it's 8 million beautiful stories. It also can happen too. And like they wrote, the book said, the soul of Black folks. It's a vibration that we have. It's like a walking in rhythm that we have when we walk together, when we gather. And I'm not integrating, or segregating anyone, but I'm just saying it being in America with this energy, it's definitely a different type of energy to be next to all the time, which I had experienced it before. My first wife, more than likely, we come from one of the same tribes. Now, her people were enslaved, but it definitely appears like her people were enslaved, but they just was there. So they just enslaved the Indians that was there. Appears very much like that's what happened to her family. And my great grandmother comes from a very close area, probably within 50 miles, was born within 50 miles of that area. So it was destined for us to be together, destined for me to go back to that home where one of my ancestors. And, that's my spiritual journey, playing the sacred ball game down there. And somewhere where there was some roots. So nothing is, by chance. It was probably foretold or preordained for me to take that journey. And had no fear of taking the journey. Because so many, that journey I took, so many that really couldn't even do it. It's cats that had better scholarships than me that just went miles from home and got to hoop. They couldn't even live down there to hoop for a year. Close to home. Where they had to come back at home and start working. And here was giving everything to them to just to hoop. So imagine, being that far away where I was. And, 1980s A&T, the dorming, the housing wasn't great. I grew up around Western Michigan University. I saw Michigan State dorms and I saw dorms in Michigan. So I know what college dorms look like since I was young. And what I went to was an office with small rooms. They stuffed us in and they had showers in there because it was an old gym. We was living in it was 1980. That shit was probably from 1920s or 1930s or maybe around the war. 40s, at least. It was some old shit. But again, a lot of people couldn't even did that. So I had some fortitude and a little bit of discipline. Oh, I'm sorry. Old man, okay. This is, I was talking about the college. Okay. Let me get back to my college story. I'm sorry, I got sidetracked. Okay, this is what tripped me out at the college. So it's a little bit of everything you can eat there. I ate before I went, so I wasn't really hungry. And I just had some nachos earlier that day and the night before, because that's what those leftovers. So to look at most of these nacho bowls really wasn't, looking good to me. But I bring all that up because, let me see if I can give a comparison. Where's that little bag? It's not right here. Where's my little bag? Well, I'm going to try to give you a slight comparison. So look at this bowl and imagine it is this much longer, like it's round, but it's this much more of it. At least another inch or 2 inches more all the way around. All right, and it's this much higher, so it's this high. So there was several ice cream things that was deeper than this. You dig? It was, deeper than this. So this much ice cream could go in these big ass bowls. And I mean, the ice cream leaped 5, 6 things over. And I'm looking at these people eat this shit. And all the sugar. Like I looked at that thing and that thing had to be like 20, 30 grams of sugar. And these bowls were huge and I'm telling you, they put it like the top is here. They gave you this much more ice cream, all full. And I'm looking at some of these people that, not overweight, but I'm just looking at them like, wow, that you still eat that. And, I don't really eat pork other than bacon. And I had a McDonald's burger today, and they've got some kind of sauce that you can put on it that is dynamite. I don't get them often. My wife, she likes that shit more than I do. She likes the fish sandwiches, But Fish sandwich. She likes the fish sandwich. But occasionally, I'll eat a burger from there, and their meat tastes better than it used to. I don't think their new meat, you could keep it for, like, a dude showed a burger that he's had for 40 years. I don't think their new meat would last that long. That shit they used to make, it never tastes like meat to me, but now it tastes, but whatever this sauce is, it was kind of cool and surprising. I was like, damn, this shit, what is this shit? On my McDonald's burger. And they got the best coffee, hands down. It's hard to beat McDonald's coffee. Like, you can go to other places, but their coffee, if you're a coffee drinker, their coffee is always good. Yes, it's hot as hell and it takes a while for it to simmer down, but it is always on point. It is always good. Now, their tea sometime, their unsweetened tea, if they don't clean that tea shit, the strainer, it has a funky taste. Sometime, and that, down south, they give you, instead of water, they give you sweet tea. Instead of giving you water, they give you sweet tea. So, that's unhealthy as hell. That is unhealthy as hell. Oh, we're gonna have a March Madness party. You guys, that we'll get that Monday, Selection Monday, we'll get the papers. I like getting the papers. And I hate, over the years, I just didn't gather and keep all the papers, but it's a lot of trash to keep. It's kind of hoarding, but I just always thought that was fun. The selections and the hype up to it and the showing the players. Oh, man, yeah. Anthony Edwards' block tonight to win the game. That shit was nice. Let's see if I can show this shit. Yeah, here we go. This is some nice shit. Watch this shit. Y'all didn't catch it earlier. This shit was nice. Watch this shit. I don't want the sound.
Against the basketball. He wanted to go in a broken floor.
Nigga hit his head on the rim to get that shit. Ant is a motherfucker, y'all. Look at this shit. Damn. Look at this shit. This is Jordan-like, LeBron-like. And his shoes and the Hardings, I'm going to get the Hardings because I got a bunch of Adidas clothes and I only got one pair of Adidas that I'll wear. Damn. I think I want the Hardings instead of the Ants, but wow, but Ant is outstanding. Whoops. Not now. There's just another version of it. Damn. Glad he didn't hurt himself. That shit was nice. That shit was nice. And Ant is a combination. I'm going to tell you, the energy that Ant comes out of. He comes out of Georgia where Dominique is from North Carolina. So that part of my story is trash. Dominique, but his energy coming out of Georgia, I've always said this before, is like David Thompson definitely got what Earl Menigold had. Not sure how the connection with David Thompson and Earl Menigold, but he definitely had it. And there was other guys, Jumpin' Jackie Jackson, that played with the Globetrotters, grew up around Connie Hawkins too. But David Thompson definitely had it. And David Thompson's only about 6'3", but I don't even know who you compare him to. He's putting pressure on everybody. He's shooting over everybody. And rebounding, was a rebound fiend, tip dunk. Michael Jordan definitely got that energy too. And remember, Michael Jordan being born in Brooklyn, raised in North Carolina, he got the Menigold energy, and he also got the David Thompson energy, if you understand how energy can be transferred. And Ant seems to have a lot of that same energy transferred to him. Can't find what I'm looking for. Oh, here we go. No, I don't want that shit. Yeah, it's not giving me what I need. Oh, what What time is it? Yeah, I probably can chop a little more. I need to. I'll tell you though, personally was able to get a lot of meditation in today. I think that's essential to be able to, have peace and have your own thoughts and be in your own consciousness where that's all you get used to, living with your consciousness and just yourself and no other part of the world. Just everything that you're doing, far as even like the breathing, the stillness is just, it's a selfish, but it's healthy selfish. And it's a way to totally, accept your consciousness and work on it, work on your spiritualness and quietness, knowing your thoughts and your feelings. And it's so easy, it happens to everybody when you meditate. It's, this past experiences. And that's a natural thing. Just don't be, because it wants to, the gateway, the way it came in, would like to dominate when you don't want that. You want your signal to constantly go out. So, you kind of swipe that and let what naturally needs to come in, come in. If you're manifesting or whatever you're trying to do, that's time. And so I got several periods to do that today. And so that was, very beneficial. And when I get done here, probably. It's interesting though when I'm downstairs compared to meditating up here, because up here, I have to have things around me to ground me. Because I'm on the second floor, but downstairs, I can literally feel the coolness of the earth under me. We don't have a basement, So it is a different experience. So, and it feels different. Time to carry some dude wipes. Dude wipes. Oh shit! It's funny. And my son used the bathroom. He peed in the bed till he was a certain age, and I remember getting him, fucking adult pull-ups and shit. Getting him that shit. It's people that's got to carry wet wipes with them. The people that's got to go places and shit. It's like I like if I go to a restaurant and I get sick while I'm there and I'm shitting in their bathroom, I don't know how many more times I'm gonna come to that restaurant. So it's something wrong. Yeah. See, I want just the speakers. Yeah, this was just $100 more. Could have got the new speakers. Yeah, these will work. Let me write this down. These will work with my system. SWA dash 9200S. Yeah, I'll look that up next. Because I think I saw this. Because I want more speakers. I like lots of speakers. When I was in my Jimi Hendrix phase, I mean, that having music the way it used to be, like hi-fi, used to be so fun. The way the music would go, across the room. If you had a 4-speaker setup, the music would literally travel from one side of the room to the other. And, I had a small townhouse at the time, but, I had my own room. And I had those 4 speakers. And this was really before the center channel speaker came in. But those 4 stereo speakers that with the hi-fi with that, and a lot of Jimi Hendrix music, he records that. He's recording it into one side of the speaker. And so it literally jump, he's doing a guitar or something, it would literally jump to that other speaker. And then sometimes the way they would do it is they would make the music flow. So they would switch from channel to channel to channel to channel all around you. So it's really a interesting, fun way to absorb music when I was young, because I grew up around dudes, serious equipment, turntables. I mean, just the best type of and grew up listening to clear music. Like my cousin was the first cat I met that just serious about getting this good stuff. And I mean, even when I came back in college, like my cousin's husband had reel to reel nice set, reel to reel turntable. I mean, we mixed a bunch of stuff. He had got a nice reel to reel of a bunch of New York mixes. And I mean, it was like that old Earth, Wind, and Fire. It's like, you just move yourself and glide like a 740. And the motherfucker keep bringing that back. A, E, A, E, I, O, U, U, and sometimes Y. Bringing that kind of shit back. But he had it all on reel. And reel is real crisp sounding music that is closer to a master, listening to a master, than even listening to a disc. And but the music, off the needle, which is a diamond, which is a crystal, and they used to have a steel needle too. That old Edison shit was Edison steel needles. It was on a roller. You can get these tubes, and the steel needle would read the tube. My uncle used to have one, old Edison tubes. Stick the tube on, put the steel needle on it, it'll read that shit. My first player before the closing play, I got now I probably got a closing play before that. And closing play was fun. Shit, you had 45s and you just put the music on that shit. That motherfucker play 45s all day. You could actually play albums on the closing play. Then somebody gave me a steel needle, and it was like certain records still reacted to the steel needles. I think the only song I had was His Name Was Bad Master's Son, which I think was the TV show music. So that's what I need to look for. Yes. SWA 902S rear speakers. Yes. That's what. Yeah, because it's the same system. It's just a system with the rear speakers. Yeah, that's it. So that's what I need to expand my system. Oh, gosh. Great news for my son. My son just got a job with a company where looks like a lot of great possibilities. And so he's going to move in with me for a couple months, occupying this room. So we're going to have to see how we're working things out and me broadcasting. So, it's more important for him to have a peace of mind and live and to be successful. So I do have a laptop, so I might have to take the mixer and I don't know, the mixer with the laptop. I might end up having to do that. So we'll see. Cause my cats love chords. My female cat particularly. That's some shit I thought didn't exist anymore. Because I thought that you got this shit, when this shit was in the Bible, I thought you got leprosy from maybe epidemic in southeastern United States, but it's still rare. This dude's got leprosy. I thought you got leprosy from eating people. Infection left researchers. That's how I thought you got it. Maybe I'm wrong. 54-year-old man, point source of his disease, hadn't traveled domestically, but in prolonged contact with immigrants from leprosy countries. Exposure to armadillos. Armadillos have the disease. I did not know that. So, do you think he did something freaky with armadillo? Why would you deal with it other than running it over? Let's see. It's a rare disease. Researchers say the presence of cases without clear cause may suggest the disease has become an epidemic. The constant presence of someone controlled that's easily treatable and preventable. Okay. Cases rose, accounting for the majority of cases. The normal dropped. So, yeah. Florida saw the quickest upkeep. Key background. Known as Hansen's disease is caused by bacteria called microbin, which can affect the skin, upper respiratory tract, eyes, mucus, causing physical deformities. It is not an easy disease to catch. With scientists discovering it takes months to close contact with a person with leprosy to get it. It's typically spread via person to person when droplets containing pass from coughs and sneezes. So handshakes or someone the disease won't cause it. Has a zoomatic transmission. Finding human contact with wild armadillos has caused increase. So why are they fucking with armadillos? Either contact with armadillos. Why are you fucking with armadillos? Or they cook armadillos. Damn. Why would you eat armadillos? Include painless ulcers on the feet, nudes on the skin, discolored, numb. Wow. Contrary proper relief, leprosy is curable. Requires multiple drug therapy. Tangent is biblical. It's known as the biblical because earlier Israelites thought the disease was from punishment, with it being illness or believes included, according to it's both a punishment for sins and devised cause. But remember, Jesus's boys, they was curing that shit. And when they went back, like Jesus cured some leopards, and them motherfuckers went back to their crib or wherever they was chilling, and they was like, Jesus, you got to show us how to cure the leopards. Like they all the power in the world, and all they wanted to do is cure leprosy people. They was like, we just want to go cure leprosies. We want to kill sick people. That's what they wanted to do, which is very noble. Very noble to want to go in there and, bring healthiness to the community. It's very noble, the ones that want to do that. They want to see healthy people. And I mean, it's like healthy relationships and healthy lifestyles. Instead of, targeting in on our differences and the conflicts. Because people don't understand, like my daughter's mother. She doesn't understand like how her wanting to please others. And I think it's really hard for some Europeans to understand betrayal, and that others could be jealous of them. I think some of them really have a heart, and I know my ex did. She couldn't see it. When I'm sitting there telling her what it is, she sees it now, and she let a lot go that shit didn't have to go if she would just listen to me. Now she sees it. So they're not always, and it's I've said this before. Like, I had a friend that I played against in high school. When I moved back to Michigan, me and him clicked. And really, he was one of the first I guess he was one of the first to introduce me to some people. I mean, he really was. He's like, hey, this is one of my guys. And things was really going great for us. And I had bought my house. He was one of my better friends. He helped me move in. He owned a house. And I've said this story many times before, but just the point of it is, he saw the house and this nigga was mad at me. Then we hustling and shit and running across each other because we both re-upping, and sometimes I re-up through him. And it's just little funky things, he's just doing little funky things, dealing with him. And it was like, when I was making money, we was all making money too. So it's like, people will betray you, no doubt. And it'll be our own people, our own friends too. But it's like, understand what that is. Understand betrayal. And that's why, you keep your circle a certain way. Because you learn to get good friends around you. And it's, it's really, people, like I call my mother every day. My mother's 83. But it's like my partners. They love hearing from me too. Just where we stay connected and we talk. And we're men. Now, my children, they care less to talk. I understand that's the age. And children talking to the parents, it's emotions is in that shit too. I understand that. That I don't mind that kind of thing. I don't take it personal. So, but you keep and you bring your friends with what you do. You bounce ideas off your friends. So it's something that pops off. You both can find a way to support it. You ain't got to work for one another, but it's ways you can support what your brother does. Instead of, and I've said many times, I've run into that so many times where trying to help people and me trying to help them made them hate me. Now, does that make a sense in a real world that I've tried to help people and by helping them, it made them hate me? And so, it's what can you say about that kind of thing when you run into it? Damn, that is terrible. Man, I live near, it's funny how people don't understand how, like, even the vehicles you drive, like where I live, let me see, there's a mile of cars. They could almost call this the miracle mile of cars. And it's the same guy owns Hyundai, Volkswagen, Toyota, Subaru. Did I say Nissan? All these foreign cars. Trying to think where I got to go to look at a new American car. Yeah, that on 13, I think. Yeah, because car dealerships, and the car dealerships up here are starting to build them inside. So when you want to go see the car, you have to go inside to see the cars. They're getting smart because I never understood how you had all these Bentleys, because we have a Bentley dealership here too, and the Bentleys would be outside covered with snow. I mean, if I want to pay $200,000, do you think I want my Bentley covered with snow anytime? Because if I owned it, you're damn sure it wouldn't be covered in snow. So I noticed that they move places, and the new Bentleys is inside, probably by appointment only. You ain't going in there unless you verify that you can buy the motherfucker. That's the first thing they want to see is, can you afford to buy this? Don't waste our time. And they get that. So, and I guess they say, yeah, I'm with you on the kids. My youngest son be showing guns and big ass blunts on Instagram. And I told him to cut that shit out. I noticed he doesn't call me as much. Yeah, like my one son, I wrote him some shit and I'm like, nigga, you ain't, you blundering. You are really blundering and you're not putting the full effort into it. And these are hard words, and so you take it to what the fuck you want to take it, But I called my daughter. My daughter hung up on me. We was just together at the thing last night, and we told her this is what gets me. It's like she asked me some shit. We talking, and she asked me some shit. I'm like, what are you talking about? Because she's trying to, our children will try to play you one parent against the other. And she's like, well, mom said I could do it. And I'm like, wait a minute. No, she didn't. Said last night all of us was together. And I told you, I don't trust them people. You can't be around them. She hung up on me. I'm like, yeah. It's like, no, honey. I said last night, I texted her the same shit before. When they first asked me, I'm like, nah. Her mother had told me the day before. Then her mother texted me in front of her. I was like, nah. Nah. Then she asked me last night, nah, fuck them. And I'll tell you what they did is this lady picks up my daughter and takes her to Target, picks her up at home, takes her to Target, and when she gets to Target, she tells my daughter she can't take her home. My daughter was 11 years old at the time. Now, luckily, I don't live far. I was home. It would have taken me probably 12 minutes to get to her. But my son picked her up in 6, 7 minutes. She called him, and luckily he was like near. And he picked her up. Well, he picked her up, he picked her up quicker than I could have picked her up. And so you tell they're having something, and it's like, no, I don't trust them people. Fuck you. You gonna do that to my daughter with no explanation? And my wife was right. Like, her mother should have gotten that lady's ass. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? So yeah. So shit ain't nice as my shit. Let me see. What is it? How much is it? What is this? Pro, blah, 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 blah. What's the specs? Oh, shit. This shit doubles my shit. Look at this motherfucker. This shit doubles my shit. This is pink tourmaline, too. And this shit here is 6 carats. Look at this picture there. Woo! 6 carats with diamonds. That's a bad motherfucker. Damn, and my oldest boy is pretty in tune, but I drop knowledge on him when he verts to news says, I'm like, what the fuck? Well, yeah. It's easy for them to get programmed. Yeah, that motherfucker's sweet. It's easy for them to program that. Nah, she wouldn't be going with them. Yeah, exactly. Hell no. Fuck them people. Like, fuck them people. I don't trust them. Talking about they was having a sleepover. It's like, hell no. Fuck them people. You gonna treat us like that? That's treating me like that. So, it's just how you gotta be, Like I know some divorced parents, and she went to spend the night with the divorced father, and he has the 2 daughters. Because I trust them. I've been around them people. I know them people. I know where he live. I know where his ex-wife live, So she go over there. Both his daughters is over there. And so, I trust those people. I know that he would, risk his life to save my daughter's life. Same with her mama. But, yeah. People have short memories. And, and then the way they want to socially do it is, they want to, the way they're going to want to play it is like make my daughter seem like, the outsider, ostracize my daughter because she didn't join them. But, yeah, she's going to miss out on that. She's going to miss out on that. And fuck them people. I tell you, I don't know if I could have lived in the 1930s, y'all. Look at this shit they had to drive. And most of these are sticks. I mean, can you imagine driving this motherfucker? No power steering, no power brakes. Man. I thought this was gonna be a bunch of old cars. And people talk about, how they could how they could go back in time and be so rich. No, it was work hard, even worse. But it wouldn't be hard to go back and, if you had a little of this sight here and kind of knew how certain things play, you could really move things. It's funny, like if you went back in time and grabbed a lot of gold up till Roosevelt took everybody's gold, I think in 1933, I imagine you could have taken, if if you would have had some kind of safes offshore to protect your assets, probably could have did it. Because if you had safe deposit box, if you wasn't a jeweler, they was busting up in your shit and taking your gold and giving you fucking greenbacks. That's how cold they was. I would have been riding the horse. So that's how they wanted to do motherfuckers gold back then. After 1933, they forced you. You know, you remember watch old cowboy movies? Motherfucker come in there with gold dust and they would weigh the gold dust. And the motherfucker have a big ass bag of gold dust. So he's balling. Like how much is it grams? Oh, a couple grams. He could go in the bar and eat, buy clothes with gold dust. And that's what the Constitution called for, gold and silver. I mean, there was early cases, you know, people beating cases. They ain't beating that shit no more, but there was times where people beating cases. Because again, it says, you know, commerce is supposed to be gold and silver. And now you take gold somewhere and then like, what the fuck you want us to do with that? But you can buy it from Costco and some other places now. You can definitely buy it. 4 classic movies that emphasize the bonds of Black brotherhood. The Hero Twins. So you've got T.I. and his brother. Very positive, anti-dope boy. Showed that, you know, he knew how to save money, kept his head. So let me see. The Best Man. I don't know, that's kind of corny. ATL, The Wood, and House Party. I don't know. The House Party had full force in it. I don't know about that. The Wood. Okay. I'd say ATL. Best Man was kind of corny to me. Wasn't it like 20 best mans? I can be. But I mean, Black Love. I can't hate on Black Love. You know, I was just talking about it. Baby, I'm not black, baby. I'm colored. I don't play that shit. Yeah, a lot of people didn't want to be called black. That's for sure. My grandfather was forever a colored fella. You talking about a colored fella? And I get darkies from Gods and Generals. All about the darkies. That's in Gods and Generals. That's where I get darkies from. What eats ticks? Fucking, what are they called? Possums. Possums eat the shit out of ticks. That's why it's good to have possums. If you live out in the woods, it's good to have them around the house because they eat the shit out of ticks. Says, what scientists learned after strapping a camera to a polar bear? He fucks the shit out of a female polar bear. Yeah, I don't want to see that. God damn. That's what they learned. I could have told him if you kept it on him long enough, you're probably going to see that, especially when they're in heat. Yeah, I don't want to see any polar bear sex. That's and like, here we go. The 20th wealthiest rappers. Who cares? You know, do you see the 20th wealthiest scientists? The 20th wealthiest pilots, you know, jet pilots. I mean, you know, like, wow, it's always something associated with that, you know, the fake wealth. It's always got to be in your life. Jay-Z wears these shoes. Jay-Z wore this watch. It's just to want you to be like Jay-Z. So you want that. All watches tick the same. All diamonds, well, they don't all quite shine the same, but you do your research, you can get shiny diamonds. It ain't that hard to get. All gold is gold. If it's, you know, stamped, whatever, you know, carat it is, no doubt. So, we can all acquire enough wealth. You know, that's not a problem in a consumer's country we live in. It's not hard for us to acquire wealth. And, you know, with timing and manifestation, it can come rather quickly. Like people dream about winning the lottery, but if it actually happened, most people aren't even prepared to plan to family, family plan or financial plan. Most people will be completely caught off guard and don't really know what to do. Now, if you're talking about, I was talking about trusting people. Now, there's a thing called, one of the best trusts you can get is a thing called a blind trust. But the problem with is who are you going to have executor over that blind trust? Because the trust will have no owner. They go to sue it, it ain't you. So if it ain't a person in that position that you trust, it ain't that you giving them their, part of your bread, a say on your bread. They could tell you on your bread. You dig? It'd be a person that could really tell you no on your bread. So, but it's a way, because believe me, you acquire too much wealth, people want to sue you. And I mean real wealth. Not the little bit of wealth. I mean real wealth. Not because you're making $70,000, $100,000 a year. Not that kind of wealth. I mean real wealth. Again, wealth is anything over 250,000. That's been the standard for almost forever. You made 250,000, you're basically wealthy. Even the way it is now. Because now it's very common to know people to make $100,000 a year. Very, very common. Knew a daycare lady knocking down $100,000 a year and just doing daycare. 10 to 14 children, I think was the maximum she had. And it's a 7 to 7 job, no doubt. But still, you can hustle and get that kind of money. And yes, things cost more. I look at a house today. This house was $569,000. And what I've learned is like there are very few houses. The way the market is here, it was this: if you spend between 500 and 650,000, you're going to buy a house that you got to do something to it. I looked at this house. This house was 569,000, but it was 4,700 square feet. Huge house, terribly outdated. Terribly outdated. You would have easily had to put, I would say, almost 100,000 in it. It needed carpets, walls, but just everything was old. You could see where they had started pulling up the carpet from the floors, So it was like you was gonna have to do all that. But yet you was still gonna have to pay 560 and put money into the house. And it's like what I saw is that you really had to, it was like 750. You ain't had to do nothing to the houses. So that's how crazy it can be. I am Baby Slaughter, Grand Ascension to be. I am Baby Girl Slaughter. Very nice of you joining me. Thank you.
Got to have vision.
For being up with me. Thank you for joining me. I don't know. It's a lot of good energy tonight. A lot of good energy. I did a lot more philosophizing than I normally would. Well, I don't know. I guess circumstances of the sporting world. And then we're having the eclipse coming up. So it's a lot of energy that we all can, and that freely we can all enjoy with. Oh, you're welcome. And so, I talk about that. And that's why I was talking about 20 minutes ago, the importance of every day, you have to meditate. Like, even if you just stretch, like if you just have some time to yourself, like have time to stretch, have time to feel yourself breathe, have time to feel your heart, have time to do things to make your heart, make yourself sweat, open your pores up. feel these sensations and know that you do certain things and you'll feel those. And the like, and I guess the one thing I can't really tell people how to do is how to accept and how to, as they say, the dragon energy of the Kundalini. I mean, that's the one thing I can't really tell you how to turn on for you. The simplest way, and with me, Kundalini started from sports, having butterflies in my stomach. It started with that. And so it was easy for me as I got older to generate it. But music too. Music was really one great way where I would hear certain songs and the songs would automatically, it's Bob Kochi, is that his name? He says the song, Operator, let me help, won't you help me make this call? Automatically, Jim Croce. When I hear that song, automatically just the Kundalini moves. And there's many other songs, but for me, that's the easiest way that you should. I mean, I would hope that there's a song out there that would bring that out of you. Because I know I'm not alone that music can do that to you. As I said, music can move and remove. But just, think of the powerfulness of just your thought. And the Kundalini rises just from your thought. Like this glow of energy goes from your toes all the way through your whole body. Of just energy that you ain't plugged into nothing but the ethers. And you can have multiple rushes of this. Just because of your thoughts. And your thoughts were so high vibrating and so positive and so full of love that this energy is the reward. And that can be had every day. Every single day, you can rise your Kundalini. And I mean, for all, it's different. For some of you, you may just be able to rise your Kundalini in your growing area. That may be the only, and it's not a sexual thing. It's just, that's what, you'll feel the energy come from there. And some of you may just feel it from there and down. And the opposite, some may just feel it there and up. Some may just feel it like in their shoulders. They can just get it to radiate to their shoulders. Then it stops. And that's success. I mean, that's, it's not that, that's not success, because that's success no matter where you can feel it. I mean, I was doing something and, when it first hit me where it radiated out of this area, I was like, oh. And I wasn't sure because it was like several days in a row, it was just all starting to radiate out of here. It's like, oh, okay, this is cool. And I even to this day, I don't know what was opening that up. And I'm, how can I say this? Well, okay, I guess I can stay on this side of it. And it's like even touching into, your auras. Because like when you're closing your eyes and you're seeing what the colors that you're pushing out. You're seeing what your aura is pushing out. That's why, as soon as you get in and you see this red, you're vibrating pretty low. Especially if you can totally be blacked out. It's kind of hard when you just close your eyes. Some can, if you're but if, it's daytime or you got some kind of lights. But if you have full blackout, you see that, where you're vibrating. And that's, your aura is looking like that as well. Because this is energies going around. That's one of the first things you'll see. So you can see your own aura, what colors are radiating out of you. And just the different things. Like they don't teach, the ethers. They stop teaching that as a natural occurrence that we can, of energy. And it can be, the ether can be a lot of different things. It's like, if you watch Oppenheimer, and the thing I like and the color of it and the sounds is, they show him that he could see waves and particles. Kind of they show you kind of in the same way that Tesla said he could see that. And I think I did the review, I said that before. And I love that. And you don't really, a lot of people don't think about that, because everything we're doing is part of waves and particles. I mean, if you're seeing me, you're seeing a particle that's, this projection is a lot of particles for you to see me. Just showing you how the science of having particles has helped and made it possible for you to see me and me to project to you. And that for him not only to be able to see all that, but also be able to write it down mathematically. Because that's a whole language. Tesla was one of the other few that could really design a machine and then break the machine apart and really see all the working parts and then go scale it. So I'm sorry. Have you no, I've never done that. I used to have a professor on A&T's campus and he was pretty good at reading it, but no, I've never done that. I bite my tongue about chakras because how do I want to say it? I think of all things, there are parts of things that you can use. Give you a prime example. Many of you, I didn't do it today, but many of you see me. When I do this bowl, I usually have the other big bowl playing, but I'll do this bowl. Now, this bowl is to open up the throat chakra. The color, this is a sigil, but the symbol, for this throat chakra vibration. So yes, I use chakras like that. But apart from that, I don't really use a lot of it. I guess it's just my personal preference of where I do my magic. And another, my grounding bowl is downstairs. I don't have it, and I do use that as well. But that's the only kind of way I use chakras. So, and no disrespect, it's just a lot of other practices that I practice more than that. But as I say, I even use a little of that. So it's not like I just out of hand. It's, it's just what I use of it. That's all. And that part I do use of it. Okay, I got 3 hours in. I got the munchies. I think I'm going to go eat me a bowl of cereal. Oh, gosh. But no, I haven't. I guess shit about energy photos. I'll tell you what goes on, with that too. This cat, and his name is, what is this cat's name? Show his work. He gives a Mayan name. He only gives the Mayan name. Alana Joy Yakanen. I wanted to give him his real name. And he goes, and his work would go along with, of course, Jose Aguirres. So he's a kind of a student. But what they've put together is they put, and this is all based on the Mayan calendar, but more than just the Mayan calendar. It's a way of life planning and yeah. And so what he's put together is what's called so the sacred sun that begins a 13-day light pulse creates underlying influence and unconsciously motivates its solar destiny with the light pulse. The base energy or intention of a last pulse is to convert and lies beneath the obvious energy of the sacred sun and the sacred number, the date of birth, or a chosen day in question. In the sacred number, the question the question is number one, the energy is magnified. It is not influenced or diluted by other suns within the light pulse. Each sun within the light pulse also has a corresponding Hertz frequency. Provided in the chart below is a chart containing the Hertz frequency for the sacred suns. In the page follows, I have provided these Hertz frequencies on a graph so we can explore the effect of the rise and fall of frequencies in the light pulse. And again, it is based on the long count and the short count. And he gives you light pulses that you could actually functionally play. Given, and this is all within sacred Mayan knowledge, which is Omen too. So, okay. This one, this is a good practice. But a good base of the energy is starting is him. This kind of gives you a base. And it's funny, I say this funny, it's like even did I say this before? But this book is a good, if you like divination, yeah, this book is cool for that. It's a lot of ways you can use this. It really is. The light pulses it gives out. And understanding the Mayan counting, which continues to this day. They was feeling doomed in 12. Don't forget that. That was the Mayan date of the end of the cycle. So you could tell even the beast wasn't sure what was going to happen. So, and I always the Virgin. For some reason, the Virgin, and I think this goes to the Monkey King, is why this was presented to me. The Virgin energy too. And you find that even the people in South America use the Virgin energy as well. That's why when the Europeans was trying to point out, you guys know about crosses. There's crosses all on this. That's why they try to call it the quasi-quotal cross, because it's directions. It's more the X motion. This means direction. That means motion. That's why it's this way, because it's just a singular, but it tries to show you the motion of the power in the motion. And then this is really like how when you get a certain, and I guess this is like the preachers say, when you get a certain calling and you get certain fractals given to you, like that was some of the first, like if you want to say like light codes was these fractals. Like the fractals of this was starting to be sent to me as I started to get into crystals. And so when I saw this, I was like, that's it. That's it. And at the time I didn't have bread. So even like, it was to the point where, I saw this one time and I was like, this is what I've been seeing. I came back in my imagination of trying to think of what this thing is. I forgot, couldn't really remember. And then I walked back in, I was like, oh, this is it. So, and I've got, the crystal one too. But I'm pretty sure this is, to prepare me for the Monkey King. What's he got to say? Different frequency that relate to our chakras. Oh yeah, but I mean, yeah, indeed, it's like I was saying, everyone should dance daily because that creates your own type. That creates a very positive life energy. Just your own movement that you feel, music not feeling. I mean, it's just a natural rhythm of movements that we should practice. And listen to, I hate to say it, but like R&B music is really, and I ain't trying to say, oh, make love. No, you just like jazz, but like some R&B like jazz mix is just like high vibrational music. Much as I like Kanye and I've been listening to his music the last couple of days, but it's not the same high vibrational music that I listen to, modern jazz or like Robert Glasper. Robert Glasper's music, other than his Christmas stuff, but that's a check. But I mean, really, some of his music tends to seem more positive and more lifting me. And positivity can be what you wear and all that. I mean, you can get to the colors of the day. All that is relevant. You know, all that is relevant. You know, the way you present yourself all the time is relevant. And it amazes me how some people present themselves. You know, it's like, hey, it's hard on me, so this is how I'm presenting myself. So I just think you should always present yourself the best way you can. And it's like me, you know, searching information and reading. It's just like I'm like a sponge, and it's like I still want to absorb, and I still want to be able to have my take on things. So there's always new avenues. You know, I get these books. And, you know, because I read this book about the omen, and I read a later book, and, you know, where he uses his one of his terms. And the term is omen. How to say omazoid, like the omen. You know, you see things that are like this omazoid. And so by reading that book, I read the newer book, but the newer book referred to him, how he called it. And, you know, omazoid, like the omen, or omek, or kabaza, big head omek. But again, this is very omic. The talismans made out of jade. The jade from America. And this is American jade. This ain't Chinese jade. And the energy that jade has. I mean, you know, when Cortez came in, jade was more important. That's what he gave him. It's a picture of him. You know, he gives him a big thing of jade. Montezuma, the second or third, he gives him a big bracelet of jade. I think it's still in the museum in England. They took his feather cape. They took his obsidian mirrors, all his crystal skulls, crystal balls. Because again, Europeans didn't use these things. And that's where if you want to get into John Dee and Kelly, you know, and the way they finally was able to break into some of these things that was practiced in America. As I said before, one of Montezuma's people that saw Cortez on a mirror 10 years before. Saw the vision of these Europeans marching in their equipment. He spoke about it and wrote it down 10 years before. In a mirror, he had that vision. And mirrors, again, you know, they make you think mirrors is just something on Disney. And I've been trying to get where Crazy Sarge, my brother, and I get our mirrors and get our mirrors synced, because you can really communicate with these things. And a positive kind of thing. You know, it's not really a negative. It's a way you can all kind of sync energy with these mirrors, scrying in them. And so that's what the elders did back, and with crystal balls as well. They were able to communicate with these things. And I'll say, you know, as much as I disagree with the mud flood people, the Tartarian people, but we know that technology has kind of been dumbed down. Because again, if we can communicate just with these mirrors, what do we need all this other stuff for? We just need more mirrors, crystal balls. But they don't want that. They want you to think it's just on Disney, and Disney you can just look, you know, big head pops up. They mock it. Instead of saying that these people was doing this. And again, they still got this shit in England. They, again, get into John Dee's work, the first, the true 007, the first spy, or one of the first spies of Queen Elizabeth. And how long it took them to even get anything from this stuff. I mean, Kelly probably still faked a lot of what he claimed. Just to get paid. And, you know, fake it until you make it. And again, if you look at like a lot of the way the magic is done, how they have to do it, you know, where they want to teach you that you need to, you know, that was, I talked about the sigil before, and I purposely didn't write a circle. Because the way they want to teach you, you know, if you do want to deal with something that's a little bit beyond yourself, and they tell you to, you know, circle yourself up, do all these other steps, and then you got to do a binding. So when it comes up, you got to lock it up, right? And that's how they teach you kind of how you have to do it. And that's the same thing. The one book I got talks about shamanism in America, and it ain't really that. That's what it's not is. It's not really that. Because mostly the way when you're talking about the European shamanism, you're talking about, again, you've got to use you've got to use something. Now you can get away with using a spirit animal. That's been the way I used it. I'm gonna say I would use it, but that's the way I have used it. It's more of a spirit animal. That's not bad. That's cool. But it's some other things down there that you could use. And the way they teach it is not an animal. And you literally have to kind of go into that thing to communicate, to move through. So that's not really what was practiced in Americas. It's not the same. So, but that if my point is when they started opening this stuff up, they had to learn how to control it because this shit was coming out getting in their ass. They wasn't like Solomon where they had a ring that get the fuck back. They was bringing this shit up out, and this shit was fucking with them. And this shit probably, what they brought out probably might control still. But so, there's a lot of energies here. We don't even have to mess with that. Now, if that's your thing and that's what you need to use, okay, that's, okay. But there's other energies out there that I think you could control more, and it's going to be easier for you to use. And I look at the story of the magicians and the TV show The Magicians with Julia. And Julia got so hungry for magic that she would do anything to learn new magic. And then finally, Julia got turned out by a god. Because she didn't realize and she didn't heed that all magic ain't good magic. And it's funny, like they call certain things shadow work. I look at, like, when I have to go into the directional pyramid work to find ancestors or help relatives pass. And I've never really considered that kind of thing shadow work. I've never looked at it as that, as helping someone pass through. I masterfully understand how pyramids are supposed to be used. We're supposed to be on top of the pyramid. That's the terrace. And that's a representation also of the ball field on top of the pyramid. Because you got, But that's where the power of it is. That's why, I can't pushing that copper stuff all up over you. And being under it. And that's good to put your crystals under something like that. But you can create the same kind of energy, where are they? These little popolite crystals. You can put these around you and they'll generate just as much as that copper pyramid will generate around you. Because you can set this more up like the terrace. But I'm just saying, if this is cheaper than that copper, put all that tubing around you. Now, I'm not saying that it's not positive to be in that tubing. I'm not saying that. But if you think that's the ultimate way to use that, that would be incorrect. Is to be on top of that. So I'll say that. To get that and be under it for healing, yeah, definitely. Yeah, the copper can generate very healing. So I will say that is positive about it. That is definitely positive about it. Wanted to add that. But ultimately trying to use that energy would be used greater, creating a terrace on top of that kind of thing. That's all. Well, I'm at 3 hours and 24 minutes. I'm pretty funky. I forgot to show these gummies. They are outstanding. I think I can get one more can of them. I'm gonna go buy that. He had another one. I'm gonna go get that one tomorrow. But thank you guys, for checking me out. I appreciate it. It's funny. I was starting to get trolls, and I'm like, why am I getting trolls? And then I looked at my Luca video, and it did good. So my Luca short did good. I was like, oh, that's why the trolls are coming. I'm like, okay. And I don't mind trolls. If you disagree with my opinion, that is one thing. But I'm not going to be insulted by anybody. You know, that's just unnecessary disrespect. You don't know me. You're seeing me report on something and to insult me? Really? I attack the idea of sports being fixed that I deserve to be insulted? That's the funniest shit to me. So I erase that shit because that's only fair that you do it. So guys, enjoy. We're under the Saturn energy. It's Friday morning. The Eagles flying. The Saturn energy's coming on in. And that's like, it's funny. Again, I watch these shorts of people in England, and it is some ugly people in England. I mean, it's just amazing how the women are not as pretty as they are here in America. I mean, it's just amazing that the women, and the other part I don't understand is if you're going out to the club and you're going to be on your feet for the next 3 or 4 hours, casually sitting, getting up, why would you wear them uncomfortable shoes, women? I don't get that. They're showing these women walking downtown, wherever the fuck, England, and they're wearing the most uncomfortable shoes. And you see them taking the shoes off. But like, why would you put yourself through that? Why would you just wear some comfortable shoes? Women, we don't think you're any sexier in high heels. Now, I've said many times, I do like a woman in bed with high heels. That's a different story. Wear them in the bed. Don't walk around in them. I do have a thing for a woman laying in the bed with pink pumps on. That is my preference. That's what I like. Idea of her laying there with pink pumps on, that turns me on. But the idea of seeing you wear them pink pumps and you're walking a mile, I don't see how you do it. Or you dance for 2 hours. How do you dance in that kind of stuff, y'all? I don't get it. You can see there, like, you can tell the heart foot thing, they be like 1 foot. But it's like, you could tell the English people, they have a straight, like, man, really straight profile, like really straight. And you can tell the people not from there, but it's mad. And you can tell they're not Proposition 9, which Americans have benefited from. And I'm one of the few that tell you, Proposition 9, they benefited from. We've had, my wife is 51 years old. No, 52. She'll be 53 this year. Her generation benefited off, again, I've told the story before. I looked at my cousin's yearbook, I think in 1970. And the football team had brand new uniforms in the pictures. The basketball team not only had brand new uniforms, they had brand new sweatsuits. Brand new tennis shoes, everybody. Then you go to the girls' basketball team, they got taped on letters. That's what it was. So it said that all sports everyone should have a opportunity to have the dollars to make better participation. And as I've said before, we don't see Aunt B anymore. We don't see Aunt B. We're seeing shapely people in the European community, the European American community. You people have become more shapely because of Proposition 9. Because you're in the third generation, almost the fourth generation of my grandmother played volleyball, my mama played volleyball, I played volleyball, and all of our butts look nice because of the exercises you do in volleyball. Softball, very, very similar. But volleyball really is one of if you want young women to have a nice shape, you put them in volleyball and the workouts they do they come out really nice shaped. I mean, the muscles you use in that sport, you just, uh, it's a great way for exercise and to have a shapely body. And so that's why Americans look different. So as I was looking at the women in Europe, they don't have that. And then of course you see the women that have the the injections and all that shit. But you see a lot of women with see-through lingerie on and flat ass butts, which that's how they naturally look. And they turn into Aunt B. That's how they used to look. They turned into Aunt B. That's a reference to Andy Griffin and, the chubby little European that's about 5 foot and about 250. Or maybe not even that heavy, but just, unshapely. And Aunt B didn't have any children. She was just Aunt. Oh, my goodness. I don't know if I want to look up any debauchery, because it's always debauchery. It's like Philadelphia and any part of Texas, you can find debauchery every night. So I don't know. And I'm really like want some cereal real bad. And I don't have any bananas, but I got blueberries. I didn't ask you shit. Watch damn. Be minding my business, listening to my shit. Gosh, there's one more thing about animation. Not that guy from Dragon Ball Z. It was another guy. God, that really reminded me. It's another animation thing. Damn, Ranjo's going to prison. Damn, Rondo is going to prison. Damn, this nigga's going to prison.
It's released this evening. Show a Louisville woman has filed an emergency protective order against the current Cleveland Cavalier and former UK basketball star Rajon Rondo of Louisville.
NBA player Rajon Rondo and his girlfriend were in an altercation with a woman on the parking lot, and the whole thing was caught on camera.
Former NBA star Rajon Rondo's past has been filled rocky and eventful entanglements with the law. Rajon Rondo has once again made headlines, but this time for all the wrong reasons.
37-year-old was allegedly driving recklessly and was pulled over by a trooper.
How old is this shit? This shit might be old. How much time could he really get for this shit? Okay, maybe.
Motorists. The Indiana State Police wasted no time in responding to the call, determined to ensure the safety of all on the road. Approaching the vehicle, the state trooper immediately detected a pungent odor wafting through the air. The unmistakable scent of marijuana hung heavy, raising suspicions and setting off alarm bells.
But the smell of marijuana is, I think the Supreme Court said, it is not a reason to stop cars. So, okay. Let me see. I just want to see when the motherfuckers, what time did he get? What did he get? Let me see what they're going to tell us what he gets.
Leaving Ashley and their children traumatized by the events that had unfolded. This shocking incident has left Ashley Batchelor fearing for her safety and that of her children. In the emergency order of protection she filed, she detailed Rajon's history of volatile, erratic, and explosive behavior, including physical abuse toward their son and verbal assaults toward...
Okay, so what happened to him? Did he get some time or not? They ain't showing all his highlights and shit. What kind of time did he get?
And possession of marijuana are serious offenses that can result in severe penalties. While they are classified as misdemeanors, they should not be taken lightly. If found guilty, Rondo could face fines.
This is clickbait, because they talking about he been sentenced. This nigga ain't sentenced. That's some bullshit. Sorry about that. This is some bullshit, y'all. I'm sorry. Clickbait. I don't think there's much debauchery going on tonight. Let's see if there's a little bit. And that bowl of cereal is really sounding good. Damn, yeah, that's old. Oh, yes. All right, I want to show you guys a demon. Yes, I do. I caught this, yes. I'm going to show y'all a demon. She's a red demon, too. Let me show y'all this demon. I caught this the other day, yeah. Should put my protections up, but I'm gonna show y'all a demon. Oh, there we go. I don't want to. I ain't gonna have their name said, but I'm gonna show this demon right here. Right here. This is a real live demon, y'all. This being right here is a real live demon. Whoops, I'm showing me. Yeah, this chick right here is a demon. I've seen her, and this is a demon. And I'm gonna tell you how diabolical this chick is. Okay, let me take you on how they do things. So like there's no accident that most Catholic churches are downtown. And any town you go to, you see the Masons, the cops. They're in certain areas, and those are the strongest ley lines in that given area. So that is the strongest natural energy that they can tap into to promote what they're doing. It is like almost the guide of they're going to be the most successful in these spots. So they've picked these spots out, and the energy, moves from there. She's downtown, and she feeds the homeless. Now, I was getting divorced. Yeah, I was going through my divorce. I needed some help, some financial help. And someone told me to go to this place where they feed people daily. And I went into that place and I couldn't believe what I saw. Like the way they had this place set up was everyone that entered there, this being had set up to feed on. It fed on your despair. And there's people that she set up in apartments around her little place. There's people that I think set up in a big room with beds. Families. And this beast feeds on despair. And while I was talking to some people, she happened to come in and I just saw right through this thing. And it was like it's been a while since I had really run face to face with something like this. Like I said, I've always been able to see non-humans for sure. You can call them alien, whatever you want to call them, but non-humans, I've always had a thing that I've been able to see through non-humans. I've always had that ability to see non-humans. But this is one of the first times in a while that I ran face to face with a demon. And it was this chick right here. This chick is a demon. And I say that with all seriousness. All seriousness. This is called Mary's Place. And they feed on suffering. Look at this. They feed on suffering under the guise of helping. They feed. Look, even the Catholic nun down there. We know when you see this, how positive is that really? Showing all that suffering. And that's what they feed on. They feed on suffering. Look at this. Look how this has gathered itself. They know. They know. They know. They know what this thing is, and they help them. So that's all I'm going to say about that. And you see they advertising it. And if I hadn't felt the effects of that place, I couldn't speak on it. But I felt what they was doing, and I saw how they was doing it. And I saw how they was feeding off the down-ridden. And that's, that's I mean, people have a hard time as it is. And then you're trying to hold your life together. And if some kind of way you're trying to hold your family together, and the only way you can hold your family together is to be around this beast that's feeding off of your dread. And it was some of the land. And again, the baseball stadiums across the street. They want to be on these lands where it's a power center almost. And so she has a natural power center under her because she's on a strong ley line downtown. And this is what she's pushing off under the guise of helping, feeding on the less unfortunate. So, well, I hope you guys got a little bit of it tonight. I appreciate you coming. I don't do Fridays. Saturday, probably. Yeah, I'm just kind of chilling. So, thank you for coming till we meet again. This has been the Chocolate Mountain Show. I'm